Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Um, we are here for the final round of the Governor's Cup, and we're going to be watching Kamryn's game. And by we, I mean myself and my co-commentator, Omar Mills. Omar, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Always. I love this, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
And yeah, so the players are just getting set. But should start in about 5 minutes or so from now. And let's see. Oh, standings. Yes, standings. Everybody wants to know what's the story, right? Kamryn is currently tied for first place. It's the final round. She has 3.5 out of 4, so she's rocking it. And she's tied with 3 other players. So yeah, that's where things stand. Tied for first at the moment. Anything could happen.
I need her to win this. No, no pressure, Cameron, if you can hear me.
Yeah, anything could
Which
happen,
she can't.
but she's
Right.
gonna win,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, we're sending
Exactly.
good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy that just walked by had a shirt I want to get. I've never seen that one.
I saw it briefly. Yeah.
It's like the knight and the pawn saying, oh no, with the L. I want that. Just because I saw it. It's like a break room donut. I just want it because it's there. Don't need it, but just want it.
Yeah. So by the way,
Um,
Kamryn
yeah.
won her first 3 games. She we saw round 3. That was sort of a crucial win for her. She beat the top seed in the section,
That
and
was a
then she
monster
had a
game.
draw against an unrated player who also had a perfect score. So
Listen, yeah.
that's a dangerous opponent because you have no idea what their real level
Dude,
is.
the scariest players I've ever played at an event are unrated because you have no idea. You're either going to throttle them or they're going to throttle you. And it's there is no in between. So for her to
Yeah,
get out of that with a draw, given the position she was in and the pressure, that's a like this game here. I mean, there's pressure, but you've already had a really good tournament.
yeah,
The I almost feel like when you get to Sunday, if you're in this position, um, it's easier than the Saturday where you still have the if I win this, then I'm 4-0 and I might go 5-0. Having a draw actually takes some of the pressure off of her, but still being in first gives her a chance to win it. And you couldn't ask for a better position,
yeah,
to be in terms of the standings. So I'm
yeah,
excited to see what she's able to do, particularly having to face an unrated player and having to force the draw. She said she was like she had to fight for it.
Oh yeah. Maybe we'll have an opportunity if this game goes long. We might take a peek at that game quickly. Um, I saw her rook was almost trapped on the side of the board by and it was
Oh
sort of like a
wow.
tangle of pawns, and it was very close to being a complete disaster for her for her rook. But she managed to extricate it. And by the way, the first prize for the under 1800 section is $1,100.
Ooh.
That's not nothing.
No.
So
That'll buy some groceries, some gas money. Yeah, that's some
that
rent.
adds that adds some pressure.
That's
There's a
yeah,
little
yeah.
pressure,
A little bit. Yeah.
You could lose this game and be pretty satisfied with good tournament, but you have an opportunity to win this game and have a great tournament, plus take
Yeah.
home a little cash.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nope.
Yeah. Has she won her section before, or would this be the first time?
Not while we've been watching. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
it's possible she's won some other tournaments. I don't know. I'd
I'm
have
just
to.
wondering, yeah, I have to ask her, because like the camera's always like this though. Like just unbothered. Like if she's nervous, you would never know.
You would never know.
Yeah, like there's no like to look at her, like she looks like she's like, just about to go take a nap. It's kind of the the energy, just relaxed, just hanging out.
Yes, this is Joe. This is the last game of the tournament, round 5. for all the marbles. This is it. She's playing one of the co-leaders. He's a little higher rated than her, 1700. That didn't stop her in round 3.
No,
So,
it did not. Yeah, yeah.
you know,
She's been punching up the from seemingly well, first 2 rounds. She said she was higher rated, right? Then she had the top seed.
yeah,
I think he was 1759. Then unrated, which, as we just said, like you don't know what that player's strength is, but if she had to force a draw, playing strength was probably around, equal to this.
yeah.
And now you got this guy. And if is he even 1700?
No. Um, let me look. 1731.
Okay.
Kyle
All right,
Hammond.
so yeah, like he's right in the center. Like
Hmm.
I'm curious to know. He's going to get some rating then. Chances are, if he's gotten this far and he doesn't have a loss.
Yeah, it depends on who he
Her current
played. Yeah.
rating is like 16. It's what 1680, I think it is. Ian. She's right at. She'll. I'll put it this way. She'll be 1700 after this event for sure.
I'm pretty likely. Yeah, I don't know what the draw
Yeah.
against the unrated player does. It probably doesn't really hurt her that much. But it might depend on this game here. I would
Gotcha.
say win this
Okay.
game for sure, you're over 1700. Lose this game, might not get
High
that
16s. She was
20,
already in the middle,
20,
middle
30 points
16s.
that she
Yeah.
needs. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but win this game, yeah, maybe she'll be at a new peak rating. Most likely she will be, regardless. And yeah, so there's a lot to play for, a lot going on here, a lot at stake.
Yeah.
Good news is she has white. She'll play her London most
Like her
likely.
London.
I think she's
Yeah.
excited about that, so she'll be comfortable out of the opening. That's always a good thing.
I'm curious to see how this guy responds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of things Black can do.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm thinking about the what I used to play. I used to play the King's Indian Defense, and I remember when I would anytime I'd play anybody who played the London, they would say, "Oh, I can't do any of the stuff I want to do because you play this." But what they didn't know was that I really didn't play it. I set it up because I don't really know the King's Indian all that well. I know it well enough to kind of get the opening started,
Yep.
and that's it. But there are a lot of things you avoid playing that. Oh, he throws a knight.
Yeah,
That's
we're
evil.
off. Yeah, well, you may have
May have.
predicted.
He may have that. Yeah, he may just be doing it out of order.
You may have predicted exactly what we're about to see. We'll find out. Um, okay, no, he's transposing back into a pretty typical D5 line. The risky thing about being on DGT board every round is that he could have very easily looked up what her previous games were, and she had two other
Yeah.
games with white. These pairings were put up pretty well in advance. It would not totally shock me if he's aware that she's going to play London system and he's ready for it. So that's a potential disadvantage for Kamryn here if he was able to look at this before the game and really know what he wanted to do.
Yeah, at that level, I'm imagining that there is some prep. Particularly
Yeah.
at this point, if he's going in knowing he has a chance to win $1,000,
Yeah.
I'd look it up for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, most likely he has some, he's played against the London system before and has some idea of what he wants to do. But it could also be that he's even more prepared now if he had looked at it before the game. So that'd be interesting to know. On the other hand, sometimes these tournaments you don't have a lot of time in between rounds, so you're rushing to, get a meal and get back. They did play a game
Right.
earlier this morning, so
That's a fair point.
yeah. Okay, so far nothing too crazy or special. Kamryn should just play C3 here. And she does.
You know what I'm thinking of?
Mhm.
When you said play C3, I'm thinking about a lesson that we had when I was, and that's what I did. No, you know what? No, you told me to play C4, to just throw the pawn up, and I was like, but no, but it's going to get captured. because I forget what
Do
I
you
forget the
mean
line I
do you
was
mean
playing.
like this C5 line for black, like this pawn move?
No, it was different, but it was
Okay.
for what I would yeah, it wasn't again what I played C3 in my game, but I did it because I was scared. And you and I were talking about it. You were like, dude, man, just um I can't remember, but it was when I was messing around with D with 1D4. And for life, man, I can't remember what the opening was because it's been so long since I played it. But I'd moved away from E4, and I just remember seeing that, going, "Wait a minute, that's the line I was. That's what I ended up playing because I was chicken from my opening, on it." And I remember you saying to me, like, "Dude, you gotta don't be scared. Just push it, push that pawn. That's what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do. That's the
Yeah.
line. Yeah,
In this particular line, though, C3 is very normal, and so is knight D2. I probably would have played the exact same move order if I was her. Okay, yeah, this bishop F5 move is a little bit irritating from White's point of view because this is now the second game that we've seen where she's not going to be able to just place her bishop on this normal D3 square, sort of the ideal spot for the light squared bishop. In the previous
right.
game from round three, Black played a really early C4 and just prevented it forever. This bishop F5 move prevents it as well. And so what I like to do in these situations, I like to play bishop to E2, bring my knight out to E5, and then try to play G4 if they allow it. And the G4 move will kick that bishop back. We'll try to trap it. It can happen very easily. Something like this, I can just show some moves as an example. Say they just develop. We go here. Maybe they go bishop d6, maybe they go bishop e7. Just show bishop e7 to keep things simple for now. We jump the knight into the center. Why not? Maybe black castles. And now before we castle, we can actually play this g4 move. Believe it or not. And, well, black can't take. It's too well protected. You also don't have time to capture this knight.
Yeah, because
Sorry about
then
that. Because then we take the knight, and then we have this double attack. We win a piece.
right.
So black's really only reply is to go back, and we get super aggressive with h4. I don't know if this is even the best way to play for white. It's not the only way, but this is what I like to do when I've had these situations as white myself. And the threat is to play h5 and trap the bishop once and for all. So black needs to do something to avoid that. They can play h6, but then there's all sorts of issues. For example, we might just
Right.
take that bishop.
I would say, do you just take it in that situation?
Yeah, and now we might even push g5, and we hope for something like this where we
Yeah,
get our
that's
rook
just
opened
lovely.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the knight's getting
That's
kicked away.
eerily similar to there's a line I like to play versus the Caro that is like that when they bring that bishop out and you push the H pawn to try and trap it.
Yes,
And
you're
it
right.
just has similar vibes.
Yep. Yeah, and I find though that what you're talking about is much more known and mainstream, and this will catch black players off guard because they're expecting
Hmm.
you just to do a simple castling move earlier, like in this position. They're probably expecting you just to castle. They see knight e5, like, okay, no big deal. I know the knight wants to go there. I'll castle, and then suddenly you're just
Suddenly
attacking them already.
you're storming them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you is this did you do this in the game that I put in my course? Was this similar to that?
That was a little bit different because in that game,
I know you ended up mating on that side of the board with the queen.
yes,
You
it's
cut off. I remember that. Yeah.
this pawn structure and the placement of the bishop and the knights is the same. So yes, it's very similar to that. But
Okay.
in that
I was
game,
like, I
black
felt
had
like
their
I had
bishop.
seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah, black had their bishop over here, and I did end up moving some pawns on the king side. So yeah, it was similar, but not quite the same. Okay, we had, and by the
Gotcha.
way, check out Omar's course. It's a good one on Chessable. Yeah.
That's a real that game. Obviously I had to study it, but it was really really good. As soon as you started making moves, I'm like, where have I seen this? It's like I've seen this before. Oh wait, yeah, it was his game. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these London system positions have similar structures, but then there's usually some sort of subtle difference. Like in this one, compared to that game that you're referencing, Black's bishop's out here, when in my game the bishop was over on b7. So,
Right, right,
some
right.
significant differences, but
Yeah, because
hi,
it
Lupin,
was
welcome back.
aiming at your rook, if I recall, in your game.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
and you trapped it. Yeah, you just kind of moved the pawn to kind of keep it there. You were
yep,
like, yeah, I'm not even worried about it. I'm just going to trap it in that position. Yeah.
yep.
Is this the
And
actual position on the board that we have here,
yeah, this
or?
is the actual
Okay.
position. So far, so good. And she's holding off on her light squared bishop. It can go to e2 on the next move. So that's probably where it's going to have to go. The only other thing that she might be thinking about doing is playing knight h4 to try to eliminate this bishop.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Uh, I shouldn't say the only other thing, because queen b3 is a candidate move as well in these lines, where the bishops come out and
Hmm.
now the pawn on b7 is weak. So there's multiple ways she could go with this. I just like the bishop e2, knight here, g4 stuff, because it's pretty aggressive and I think it catches people off guard. But you can play. She might be able to play knight h4 if she gets the opportunity to trade off the bishop and then get to d3. But she might also be able to go queen b3 soon. So say for example e6, queen b3. And it's a little bit awkward for black. You can't protect this pawn with a move like rook b8 because of this bishop.
Ooh.
Yeah. And you can't push this pawn because you will lose your knight.
Hmm.
You can try to protect it, but we can bring another piece to attack it, and yeah, now the knight's just dead. And if we really need to,
Yeah,
we
he's
can add
done.
queen
Yeah.
a4 on it. So this knight is a goner. Yeah, so queen b3 is an interesting move. Black can't push the pawn, but they might be able to play queen b6.
Okay, just trade him off.
Yeah, or queen
Potentially.
b7 is a possible
Yeah.
move as well. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think there's any real downside to playing queen b3. But it depends on what black plays in this position. I mean, likely e6. Oh, he played b6. I think he played b6. Oh, sorry, no, knight h5. I thought I saw b6 on the board. Oh yeah, I was gonna get excited about tactics on the knight. No, he actually played knight h5. Okay, yeah, sorry, false alarm.
Oh, okay. He's doing your idea. Like it's
Yeah,
but just to her.
yeah, which is maybe why bishop e2 might have been slightly more accurate than knight f3, I suppose.
Yeah,
Okay,
because then you can't go there.
but
Yeah.
this is pretty expected from white. This won't surprise her, I don't think. And well, she now has two options. She could just play bishop g3, and
Right.
if black wants to trade it, so be it. But it opens up our rook.
Open. Right.
This would be a good setup for white, although still can't really get our bishop to its ideal square. We could do that. We could also play bishop g5, do things a little bit differently. This is irritating for black, this pin on the pawn here.
Right.
And so he could now
And
chase the
force him
bishop.
to mess up his. Yeah.
But in this position, okay, in addition to bishop g3, knight takes, actually we might even like this a little bit more than the other line,
Mm-hmm.
because that h6 pawn is a bit weak. But in addition to that, white has another potential move here with moving this knight out of the way with a discovered attack on the knight.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, if anybody here plays in London system, this is a nice little idea that you can do if you don't want to allow the knight to just trade for this bishop automatically. You can provoke these two moves and then move your knight out of the way and attack this knight on h5. Sometimes you can even go back to g1 or to d2 if there's no knight there. So yeah, something like this, black would have to make a choice. If they take the bishop, this usually is not very good for black to allow this.
Yeah, because now where's that?
there's also a mate threat here. I don't think they're going to fall for that, but in addition to the mate threat, we're threatening the pawn, we're threatening the bishop. So, and even if we don't win anything, these pawns are just weak forever.
Right.
So, this is not ideal for black. Usually what they'll do in a situation like this is move the knight away back somewhere. And then you can save your bishop, and the knight doesn't get to trade for it. So we preserve the bishop. This is sort of a fancy way to go. Yeah. But it's pretty typical. I've had it a lot. And it gets complicated, right? This is like a more swashbuckling type of line. If she doesn't want to go into these complications, she can certainly play just bishop g3 to begin with. But yeah, in this position, she's taking some time now, and probably she's considering some of her different choices. Did she move? I thought I might have seen
I don't believe so. The
Oh,
clock's still
okay.
going for her.
Okay. Yeah, it's small on my screen, so I can't see as well. So you have to be my eyes, Omar.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's taking her time.
Yeah, it's good. I felt like in round 3 she played.
They were
pretty
rushing.
quickly.
They were blitzing
Both
on
players.
moves.
Yeah, they were both playing
Yeah.
fast, and I don't know if she was playing quick in reaction to her
I
opponent.
think it was, man, because Kamryn is typically this, like what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
The sitting with the hands here and the calculation postures,
Yeah.
and faces and things. Whereas her opponent was very, very aggressive, with his moves.
Okay, we have bishop
Okay,
g3.
looks like she
on the
just moved
board.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bishop g3. Okay, nothing crazy. Bishop g3 is good. And the position is just equal. Yeah, it's just even right now. But pieces aren't really going to be traded off too quickly. Maybe we'll have one exchange right now, but it doesn't. I mean, there's still a lot of game left to go. That's the point I'm trying to get at. The thing that's a little difficult for black now is that, do you really want to take this bishop? Because you probably do if white has already castled. Then for sure you do. Right?
Right.
But if white hasn't castled yet and you open up this rook, white may reconsider castling or delay it as long as possible.
For sure.
And well, it's a little uncomfortable for black to castle kingside.
Yeah, and now I don't mind it, but I think to your point, if he doesn't take, what is he just retreated?
Yeah, if he doesn't take, then what are we doing here, huh? What is this?
Yeah,
for?
it's
What's
kind of
the
like,
point of this?
like why'd you just
Yeah.
gave away a move. I might be tempted to move that knight that's blocking the queen, although I like its position, just to kind of see what he does. But by the same token, I don't know that I want to make a move that forces him to make the best move.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that feels like, yeah, let him hang out there. The knight's doing nothing. It has no role, purpose at the moment. If I move the knight and he feels the pressure of a threat, well, now he may make a better move that I don't want him to make.
Yeah.
And there are other moves on the board.
I think that's right. And I think what he's doing now with e6 makes a lot of sense. There's not really an urgent need to capture the bishop on g3, so he might just wait and see what Kamryn does and then decide later on what he's going to do. There's a little bit of a risk to this approach, though, because she might find a way to extricate the bishop from g3 and not allow the trade at all. Like, for example, even bishop h4 here.
I was just about to ask you about that. I was literally just about to ask. I'm like, do you hate this
Yeah.
move? But I feel
No,
like if she
I
plays
don't.
that, I think it's going to evoke. If she plays that, he'll block with his bishop,
Well,
and
if
then we're
he,
kind of in the.
yeah. Well, if he
I don't know that I want to
does,
trade that bishop.
well,
Do you trade it?
probably we trade it, and then well, if you play bishop h4, then you have to assume that black's going to play bishop e7, as you said.
Right.
Let's say we trade it. Again, what's this knight doing
Yeah,
here?
what's that knight doing? He's just hanging out. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just kind of.
yeah,
So now they're
exactly.
both long castling from the looks of things.
Well, white should not long castle because of this bishop coming through here.
Oh, right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And remember, black's typical plan is actually to come with a pawn storm on the queen side. So we can still try to
Ah,
castle king side. Black could go either way, but probably king side also.
got you. So you would still do bishop bishop e2, castle short,
Yes.
and I mean it's not bad. You can still like it's typical setup, so be fine. I don't like all those pieces over there. That's my
Yeah.
fear of going to that side because now all of a sudden that knight has some purpose.
Well, you
You know,
have to
so
look.
there's just a lot
Yeah.
of stuff aiming over there that I'm not makes me uncomfortable.
Fair
You know,
enough.
I need them to leave my neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have to look a little bit more concretely, a little more specifically. Like, can this knight actually do anything? Imagine we're castled. Well, if it can't go here or here getting closer, then probably it's not a danger. And can the queen come in? These it doesn't have access to these two squares actually, so that's not dangerous. Which leaves just the bishop, and that's just not enough for black to really make something
Right.
happen. Not that they can't eventually attack us on the king side, but I think some sort of attack like that is pretty far off at the moment. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe white has one other possibility. I mean, this bishop h4 move is sort of unusual. And we do like it on this diagonal because it just
Yeah,
cuts
I
through
like that a
everything that
lot.
black has. One interesting move would be to play, thinking whether knight e5 or maybe bishop to b5 now.
I like that. I also like your original queen move.
Queen
Just
b3,
moving the queen to b3. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's gonna force black from what you showed to make some kind of decision. It's gonna have to think about that pawn. I mean, mind you, the queen can come down. Um,
Oh yeah, if queen b3, then there's queen b6.
and I feel like if you take that, if the queen comes there, I'm assuming you're just gonna trade that,
Well,
or do you?
it's not automatic. We could trade it. We could also just sort of sit tight and wait and see what black wants to do potentially. We could trade it and then play. Oh, Kamryn's paused the clock. What's going on? Maybe it's something with the stream. Okay, hopefully we're gonna be okay in a second here. There's just some technical thing going on. Okay, seems like it's resolved.
I'm curious to know what that was about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, guess we'll continue. They're continuing, so we'll continue,
Yeah.
and we can ask her about it later. I was saying, yeah, some line like this, and you could maybe play bishop c7. Try to just... The pawn's not actually so easy for black to protect. Normally, you'd play knight d7 in a position like this, but the knight is so far away. Now it really looks
Right.
clumsy on the side of the board like this. So yeah, I mean, actually, there's after e6, there's actually a lot of candidate moves here for Kamryn. There's queen b3 is very interesting because again, if black plays b6, then maybe we win this knight. Not maybe, we do win the knight actually. So how does black protect the pawn? You can't play rook b8 because of the bishop. And queen d7 is possible, but there's a little bit of danger with a move like
Yeah.
knight here.
Yeah.
Say knight takes, bishop takes. Once again, now this knight has no purpose on h5, but we're
Uh-huh.
also threatening bishop b5, pinning the queen. Little bit
I like
dangerous.
all of this. I like all of it.
Yeah.
All of it makes me happy.
Okay,
I
so
hope they do it.
we have Omar's move queen b3. We have you could just simply develop bishop to e2. You could be a little more aggressive with knight e5.
Yeah, I'm. uh, What's your take on that? On doing? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the pawn structure, yeah, at all. Don't get me wrong, but it's a maybe he's doing that because he's planning to take the bishop. I just feel like
Yeah.
he's weakening the dark squares, but I don't know, like that move there makes me want to play the original bishop move that you talked about. Much as I don't want to trade that bishop in because I like the weakness, but moving the knight to your point forces him to say, okay, he's gonna have to move that knight, and I'm
Yeah.
fearful that he's now going to take the bishop after because he's weakened his light squares, right? Which makes sense. But I almost wonder, do you move that bishop first, trade it, then take the knight?
Move which bishop first?
Okay,
What do
so
you
if you
mean?
go back,
Yeah, here. Oh, move it
instead of
now.
moving the knight, move the bishop first
Oh, to here.
to
Oh,
aim at the
oh,
queen.
this move line again.
This
Yeah, yeah,
move,
yeah.
yeah. Force that trade,
Ah,
then move the knight,
yeah. This is possible.
and then say, okay, now he can defend it, but
Actually, it's not easy to defend. Well, okay, the knight here is attacked. You can move it back. That would be the best move, and you would have to be careful not to play this, because then the knight is actually trapped.
ooh,
Yeah, but you can't go here,
I didn't even go that
here, or
far, but I just
here.
liked it, right?
And you can protect the knight from the queen with the bishop, with the pawn, but it doesn't actually matter. You protect with the pawn, but then I fork you.
Ooh, I like that also.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
did
Kamryn
something.
has played knight h4 herself. Very interesting move. Yeah. I mean, this is another reasonable candidate move. She wants to take the bishop, but she wants to take it on f5, which would be a much better version of what Black's trying to do to us because, well, then we would damage the pawns. Okay, maybe Black should just play bishop g3 here. And it's sort of a weirdly symmetrical standoff where either side
Yeah,
could
this
take
would
the
be,
knight,
yeah.
but neither side really wants to do it because it would help the other person's pawn structure. But in this position, so when you have like copycat positions or symmetrical positions, it's mostly pretty symmetrical. There's a little difference over here, but that usually favors the person whose turn it is to move. That's why I tell my students never copy your opponent.
Hmm.
And so here it looks as if black has copied white, and a move like bishop to e2 is very dangerous for black.
Yeah.
Because, for example, now the knight's attacked. If they take, our rook is opened up, and we could be threatening to take their bishop now and with a pin on the knight on the rook. Yeah. So this would be a bad version of this for black, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, at least a small advantage for white in this position, I would say. Because what you really don't want as black, I don't think you really want to have to take back with the f pawn and get this sort of weird pawn structure where you have an isolated pawn on e6. That's not ideal. And then, by the way, the danger is not over yet because we have moves like bishop g4 attacking this pawn. We also have moves like bishop d3 attacking this pawn because it's pinned.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's all sorts of little
Yeah.
tactical tricks
Yeah.
that pop up all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's that's the danger. So knight h4 is super interesting. I mean, there was also one other move that I wanted to mention: bishop to b5. You don't usually put your bishop here, but in some cases in the London you can, especially if you can't go to d3 anymore. And this would have put some pressure on black as well. How do you get out of the pin? You might feel like I don't really need to because it's well protected, but knight e5 is a big time threat coming next. Because let's say you go bishop e7, that wouldn't be the best move, maybe bishop d6, but let's say you just play a normal development move. Knight e5 is a threat to take this knight. Pawn takes, bishop takes with a fork.
And you went, yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the way, at the same time, this knight's hanging.
Yeah, that's game over.
We could get some.
If they
Well,
ever
I don't
get
know if
that
it's
far.
game
Yeah.
over, but it would be dangerous for black for sure. Yeah, like for example, if they take, things can get really wild. Normally, you might just take this back, but I think we could even play this move.
Yeah, because you're threatening the queen there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're
I went
attacking the
along with
queen,
that.
so they don't have
Yeah.
time to take our rook. Jeez. This is getting very complicated. If queen d7, we have knight takes a7. Win the queen.
Ooh.
Yeah. So maybe they would. I don't know actually what black would do here. Maybe they have to take.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like they take their, we take, king has to move. Then I think we take, did we take the knight? Did we just take the knight
I think if
at
we
that
want
point?
to not be worse, we take the knight. I
Yeah.
think we take the knight. And after the dust has settled, I think we want a pawn. All of this for a pawn, and we might not even be able to keep. Oh no! Well, yeah. Okay, actually, the rook's in danger, so we can't move the queen yet. Yeah, it looks. It's a game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, this bishop's a little bit awkward. Actually, it might be hard to save it. I mean, not to extricate it from black's territory. Okay, that was just an idea that I had to go bishop to b5 and try to really take
Right.
advantage of this knight, which is a little bit harder to protect now that you can't go bishop back. Okay, but anyway, knight h4 was chosen. I wonder what the best move was here. Okay, the three top moves, according to the computer. In third place, bishop to b5. It's a 0.06 advantage for white, so it's basically just even. Also, queen b3, tied for third place. Okay, so these are moves that we thought about. Bishop h4 is in second place. We also considered this move pretty seriously. And the top move, number one move, according to the computer, which gives white like a 0.4 advantage, almost half a point, is Kamryn's move, knight h4.
He just took the star squared bishop.
Yeah, and that's understandable, but probably not a very
Yeah.
good move, actually. Yeah, I think now we can say that white has an edge. I would say we're not up material, but a significant edge. Well, if we take with the h pawn, yeah, that's very
Yeah.
natural. That's what she
She
played.
does that. Yep.
Mhm.
Now he's got to figure out what he's going to do with his bishop.
Exactly, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Melinda, for the raid. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
We are following Kamryn's game from the South Dakota Governor's Cup. It's the final round, and she is currently tied for first place in her section with 3.5 out of 4. So this game is for all the marbles. She's been on a tear. Can she finish strong? And so far, she's in a good position.
Yeah, she's doing all the things that you were talking about that you've been suggesting, with the one exception being that one line, which I think only you would know to do the
Oh,
line where you pawn storm up that side. And the only
yeah.
reason I recognize it is because of the course, because I
Yeah.
looked at your game,
Yeah.
for it. It's not the type of thing that I think most people are gonna just naturally come to that.
It's a little
Like
bit
that. That's a
unusual, yeah.
very solid approach. Very good. I remember the first time looking at it, like, who comes up with this? Who sees this? But you. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
what did he do? His bishop went
I think
somewhere?
he just said, "Hey, why don't we just trade these from the looks of it?" But,
Oh, he went to e4. Oh, e4, interesting. Ah, yeah, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to make things very awkward for this knight. Because now if
yeah,
we take, this would be the natural impulse, is to take this piece,
yeah.
damage the
And
structure
now
a little
now the
bit,
knight's
but
just yeah, he's useless over there.
we are a little bit trapped. None of these squares are accessible for the knight, and g5 may even be a killer move.
Yeah.
So she has to be very careful not to automatically take this. Huh, but then what do you do? Yeah, bishop e4 is very tricky.
Do you just push the pawn?
Which pawn?
Um, the pawn on f2.
I think that's what you do here, yeah.
Okay.
Bishop e4 struck me as not a very good move. Just sort of my instincts were going wild, being like, "What? Bishop e4? That can't be right." um, and it may very well be that we just play f3. To be honest, I'm not worried about our king safety here. There's no danger. g3 is weakened a
Right.
little bit, but if bishop d6 happens, we may even be able to just protect it with our king. As simple as that.
What
So,
if then the queen comes down to assist?
yeah,
I guess you can move the rook up.
let's say queen here. Yeah,
Yeah.
we might actually even be able to just play rook h3.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just becomes
And worst case scenario, we can play f4. This wouldn't be horrible either. Yeah,
right.
we could play this move. So if we somehow blunder and we can't play rook h3 and black is putting a lot of pressure on g3, we can play f4. Block things up a little bit for this bishop and queen. The knight has now the f3 square that it can drop back
I
to.
was gonna say, yeah. Does that come back into play now? Which I would
Sure.
imagine it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it might jump back out to the center or even g5 depending on what happens. Yeah. So looks like f3 is a serious move because the now what does black do? If they go back to
Yeah.
f5, it's like we gained a free move with f3, so we can take. We got rid of our knight off the side of the board. We got rid of their light squared bishop, and now we get our bishop to d3
Yeah.
with a threat on this pawn. Why not? They can of course play just g6, but I think this pawn structure is better for white. Our structure is more intact. We can even be quite safe with the king just tucked away on f2 like this.
I was gonna say, yeah. I remember when I took your course on this. You had mentioned that even though it's like I look at this and I'm concerned about the space in front of the king, but it's really not a weakness. Like those double pawns aren't really weak, and that's
Yeah.
it's the illusion of weak, but it's really not. It's actually he's just as safe if he goes up one square and just kind of hangs out. Like
Yep.
there's really no threats to him,
Yeah.
and that's the part that's sometimes difficult to. Now, I will say this: I think that the if he's there, then you've got that pawn that never took the C pawn that's just kind of hanging out that could open things up.
They
That's the
could
only
try.
concern that I would have.
They could try. Yeah. That is true. So you have to be a
Do
little
you,
bit aware with the king on f2.
do you push that?
Push what?
Do you push that pawn instead of taking?
Which
Well,
pawn?
no, because the bishop can still get out.
Which pawn do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean.
The c pawn. I was thinking about like if the c pawn were to take to open things up, but you could also push it.
Oh,
Uh,
c4. Yeah. Well, we saw
yeah,
this in
you
the
could also go
last game,
there.
and that would actually make White's king really safe, and we get to keep our bishop on this diagonal, which I think is what we want.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so that
We
actually
play e4.
helps white. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
King f2 is not the only way to play this. It might actually. Well, so the only thing I'd be a little worried about, I'm actually not worried about the e file because we can stick our own rook there. But
Right.
but I am a little bit concerned at some point that the bishop and the knight and the queen could gang up on this pawn,
They
and there
all
could
get
be
over
some
there. Yeah, and we have no.
sacrifice where our king
Yeah.
gets kind of stuck in the center, and that would not be good. White would have to just be a little bit aware of that and make sure that they don't allow black some sacrifice on d4. But also, white doesn't have to play king f2. I mean, castling should be a very reasonable move here as well.
She did something.
Yeah. So bishop e4 happened, and f3 is on the board.
Okay.
F3 is on the board. It was not the best move. The best move was queen b3. This is what makes this opening so tricky, is that there's all these opportunities to play these different moves, and the timing matters a lot.
Hmm.
Queen b3 or d takes c5 were both very good moves, apparently, for white. But I have to say that f3 was extremely tempting, and it is the most aggressive move. And, okay, suddenly black should be a little bit better, but they actually have to find an only move here. I did peek at the
Hmm.
engine here for a brief moment just to see what exactly is going on. But yeah, there is an only move here for black too. for them to actually take over the advantage. And it is not obvious, but it's findable. Definitely findable. And it's bishop
I want to see if I
d6.
can.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, is it that?
Too late.
Yeah, I was like, but you know what? I wasn't gonna pick that anyway. No, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, well, it makes
But
sense.
that's ooh,
She
yeah.
created a weakness on g3. So now with here, and if you take this bishop, bishop takes check, and you
Ooh,
lose the knight at the
and
end. This is the
yeah, the
important
knight's done,
tidbit with the
and
queen
he's
helping.
just and he's not going anywhere. Can't even take him.
Yeah, this would not be very good for white because your bishop is really stuck and your king is exposed, although maybe the immediate danger to the king is gone, but there's some danger here. Yeah,
If he
bishop d6
plays
would be
that,
very clever.
how do you defend it?
Well, the
Can you
best
defend it?
move here would be f4. And we did actually look
Okay.
at a line like this. Right? I think we said white could play king
Oh yeah,
f2.
when the king was there, like, could you? I was like, oh yeah, what
And
if the
if
queen
queen
comes
here.
and so forth? Yeah,
Oh, sorry. I think king f2 actually is the best move, and then queen f6 pinning is a move for
got
black.
you.
Yeah. And yeah, it's sort of not easy to tell why this is better for black, to be honest. Maybe g5 is a threat, trapping the knight, now that we're not threatening to take this bishop. So, yeah, it must be that g5 is a threat here. It doesn't really have to do with g3 anymore. But then white can play f4. This is the best move. And I actually don't really mind this position for white. It looks very weird. But the king on f2 should be quite safe, I think.
Yeah, I don't like all the pieces near him, but I don't see how they get in.
Well, actually, we might not be out of the woods after g5. G5 is a move. And
I think you just have to get that knight off of that
maybe. Yeah, g5, maybe we can just
with
go
that edge.
here.
Yeah.
And if takes, we could see some action on the g file at some point, but that's a little bit far off still. And also, I was just trying to see if I could make this move work for black. I was curious if this might actually be a little bit dangerous for white. I think it's not, but we have to be a little careful because a line like this, where we take, is suddenly very dangerous for the king. I mean, yeah, so for example, if you go, I mean, you play king e1 here for sure. I think. I'm still not, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said for sure, but this move looks very dangerous because of check. And after here, there's bishop c5. There's a big mate threat here.
Yeah.
This is the kind of attack that's dangerous looking, but actually maybe white is just fine after a move like queen f3, which guards this and attacks the bishop. And if we start trading off pieces, remember black sacrificed a knight in this
Right.
line, then there's probably nothing to it. Yeah, but we could get some real fireworks here in a minute, I think. Okay, you have to give me a second because my son wants to watch the stream and he's asking for the link. So we're about to have one more follower.
Rate of one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And do we have any other moves? F3? No. So black is
No,
thinking
he's
here,
he's still
yeah.
thinking. Yeah. I mean, it's already sharp.
It's sharp. Yes, it's very sharp.
Yeah.
And it depends a little bit on which direction he decides to go. I mean, he could just play bishop f5. I mean, but neither bishop retreating move really is very attractive, so
Yeah. It's like, what'd you do all that for?
yeah.
If you retreated, you've just said, I've wasted yours and my time. But I'm looking at his body language, and I think he's thinking like, yeah, I just wasted our time. So I have to do something.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I'm thinking about like I love that move, your only move, but it's more easily defended than it's like how complex does he want to make the position?
Yeah, it's sort of up to him, right? Like he could play
Yeah.
bishop g6.
Yeah, and why he doesn't love that, it's you're fine.
The structure is bad for
Yeah.
black, and white is
Structure's
totally
there.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a yeah, you're totally fine in it. And he still has the bishop move to get his bishop out.
Yes, but
But I mean, mind you, it's
yeah.
not as potent as it was. It's defensible, but it's something else she has to do. She's going to have to put her king on a square that she doesn't want to.
Well, in this
Like I think
position,
idealistically, she'd want a castle.
yeah. Let's say we play bishop d3, right? Let's just say this.
All right.
Then if black plays bishop d6, as you said, to attack the pawn, well, we can play king f2, but I actually really don't mind
You want to push that pawn
just
up.
playing this
I
right
got
now.
you.
Well, actually, we don't
Okay.
even have to defend it right now at all because our threat is actually way more serious.
Ah,
We
right.
can just
Yeah,
go
yeah,
for
yeah.
this, I think. Um, okay, actually, it's more complicated than that because the king can just move
He
out
can
of the
move.
way, and now
Yeah.
they are threatening our bishop and this pawn at the same time. So we don't want to get fancy. Maybe we have to be keeping it simple. So a move like f4 though is good enough for white here. We're actually
Right.
very happy with this kind of setup, and
Because then you still have your killer blow. Yeah.
yeah, we still have the threat. There's
Yep.
still a forever weakness on e6 that we're happy about. And then also our position just has a lot of harmony to it. And the reason I say that is because our pawns are in charge of dark
Yeah.
squares,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then our bishop, our knight, and our queen are controlling the light squares. So there's like a real division of labor here, but it's creating this nice harmony. And
I
then
didn't even
there's,
thought about that. Yeah,
yeah,
that knight is actually really nice right there.
it's not bad. Yeah, if black was
Yeah.
trying to come in on any of the light squares, they just wouldn't be able to. I mean, because we control e4 for sure. We can also move the knight into one of these outpost squares if we want to. We have the queen guarding this way and
I'd
this
almost
way.
be tempted to do that because you have the light square bishop.
Yeah, and we also have the
And now
open
that I'm thinking
file
about
for
it,
our
yeah,
rook.
like the bishop does the same thing, just right where it is, defends those same two squares, and if you and that maybe gives you the option to put the knight on f3.
Yeah. So we just have a lot of flexibility here for white and no clear weakness for black to go after, while in the same time black has some problems.
Several, yeah, in that position. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is don't retreat that bishop. Just kind of let him hang, figure out something else to do with him.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see he made a move. He played bishop d6. This was the best move for an advantage now for
Okay,
black.
so yeah,
Yeah.
he found it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's so easy for black to play like super accurately after this. King f2 is the move that Kamryn should play. It's king f2. This might have
So not
caused a
pushing the pawn
surprise.
in this position because then you eliminate the threat on the bishop,
Yeah, well, you
or at
know
least one of
what?
them. I like it's attacked
Yeah,
twice.
yeah, that's true. I think we might end up having to play f4, but we want to hold off as long as possible. We want to make
Gotcha.
black force us to do it. But bishop d6, I have to say, was a very alert move. Maybe not super hard to find, but a lot of people, I think, would have seen the threat on the bishop and just panicked and moved it somewhere. And he's looking for
Yeah.
active counterplay, which is the right thing to do. And noticing that the pawn move weakened the g3 pawn
My
is
only concern,
important.
Ian,
Yeah.
is by pushing. If we don't push f4 here, then I imagine g5 is coming.
Yeah, I'm not as worried about g5 as long as we're threatening this bishop.
Ah, got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Once this bishop, the situation with this bishop is resolved, if our knight is still on h4, then yes, g5 is a big
got
issue.
you. It's just even.
Yeah,
I
which is
got
part
you.
of the reason why we might have to play f4 at some point because, well, I think the line we looked at was king f2, queen f6, which guards the bishop, right,
Right.
by pinning the pawn, and now we'd have to play f4 so the knight can come back.
Right.
And this is a very similar structure to what I was talking about before, where we have the nice harmony between the pawns and our pieces. But the big difference is that black still has this bishop, this light squared bishop, that's sort of planted now in the middle of our structure. I don't think this is easy to assess this position for the players, right? Without some computer being like, "Oh, you're half a pawn better or worse." It's not obvious.
Right.
And honestly, I'd be fairly comfortable playing this for white because you sort of know what you want to do. You know you want to bring your knight back to f3. If you get the opportunity to take this bishop, you probably want to do that too. And we got to develop our bishop. It's as simple
Right.
as that, really. And I don't think black has any serious threat here. At the same time, there's no real big weakness for black either. I think queen f6 might be a little bit of a difficult move to find. After king f2, I think queen c7 seems more natural.
Right.
But it doesn't work here because now we can take the bishop. And this check doesn't win the knight because before the queen was attacking it. It was double attacked. So if you have the queen here, it's a different story. The knight's safe now. So this shouldn't worry Kamryn. And maybe I actually should have gone king g1. That's more accurate. So, yeah, this would be winning for white. So, actually, bishop d6 is maybe only good for black if they're planning the queen f6 follow-up in response to king f2. That's kind of the hard part of the bishop d6 move. Bishop e6 itself, not hard to find. After king f2, I think then black will have a little bit of a harder time figuring out what to do. Do they go back finally?
I feel like you just push g5.
Okay, yeah, we should maybe look at
why do
this.
you not
Yeah.
do that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this would be if black didn't find a way to save the bishop and didn't find the bishop retreating moves appealing, then they might play this move.
Got you.
And here we take the bishop.
Okay.
First things first. And then after they take our knight.
See, this scares me now.
Yeah, it's a little scary. That's true. Well, we can take it with the rook, though.
But now don't you just take... no, you can't. Okay, never mind. Never mind,
they can almost take on g3. They can certainly try to pressure it, but we're threatening to play e5 and
we're going to play that.
down.
Yep.
Yeah, like if they go rook here, there is a big time threat. But we can just go here and we sort of shut down everything. Good. Yeah. No, now we're very happy because we're up a pawn and we can maybe even win another pawn. Plus black has nothing. There's no like danger to white's position in something like this. So I don't think that g5 is attractive for black either. They might try it, but it shouldn't really be very good.
Okay. No, that's a very good lesson for me because I was having nightmares over here. Like,
yeah.
What about this?
In fact, if she plays king f2, the only move for black to maintain their advantage is queen f6. I think it's a hard move to find because...
Yeah, that doesn't even register as... But it makes all the sense in the world when you explain it.
Yeah.
That's always true. That's always true when I talk to you.
Yeah. Well, the point of queen f6 is to play g5.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's just to prevent the threat here now. And be able to play g5. Yeah.
Got it.
So
yeah, because now you can't take.
Right.
You're giving that pawn away, and you're
bishop's safe.
Yeah, it's just that's just no bueno.
Well, I mean, okay, she did play king f2. It looks like, yeah.
Okay.
King f2, and this is sort of the moment of truth for black. Is he going to be ultra aggressive with queen f6?
If he finds it. Yeah.
Or is he going to back down and, retreat this bishop somewhere or play a move like g5? Actually, g5 I'd say is also pretty aggressive, but it's just pretty clearly not that good. So
I think the fact that like you solved it in like a few minutes, I have to imagine that he's going to see the same thing. What I don't think is like just by the mere point that you've already got the bishop there, I just feel like he's going to go behind the bishop, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, this feels safer for the queen, but the thing is, the threat here is just to win a pawn now. It's not winning the knight anymore.
Fair point.
So we get the bishop.
He's angled on that at the moment. Yeah,
and I think it's one of those things that looks scary for white, but when this happens, you realize, hey, there's no more threat.
Oh yeah, I can't take it. Yeah,
you can take the knight, but you don't want to trade anymore. You're down a piece now if you're black, and it's just you can't do this. So yeah, maybe through process of elimination, black can come up with queen f6. as a
Yeah,
move.
because then you eliminate the extra move.
But I mean, really, how bad is bishop f5 for black? That's another important
That's
question. You might just do
that's
this
a fair
move.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of retreat it and say, I'll live the fight another day.
Well,
Um,
it actually it's a bad sign for black if he does play this move because it means he didn't come up with a good
yeah,
idea,
yeah,
and it gives up
he's
the
kind of give it
momentum.
up. He's shown that, yeah, I wasted my time and yours, by having this here.
Yeah, and why Kamryn would have a nice option, I think, in this position. She could play either knight takes bishop right away and
Right.
sort of weaken these pawns a little bit, and finally we get our bishop out. That'd be one option. We could also, it might be a little risky, but we could consider taking this and going like this, and now there's an isolated pawn. The reason why I hesitated is because there's a weak pawn for us as well.
Right.
So maybe we don't want to do that. But yeah, so there's some ways the white can play this, and the king should be pretty safe if we just maintain this structure. Other option though is to play g4 and say, I'm trading your bishop on this square
Yeah.
and getting this
Well,
structure again. So this is the dream for white. This would be the dream, is to get this structure, because there are no weaknesses for white and there's tons of permanent weaknesses for black. This, the attack on h7 makes it so black doesn't want a castle, but
right.
I mean, castling queenside might be way more viable here, but it's also could get opened up on the queen side, and plus just this pawn is super weak. And if white wants to really tamp down on everything, we could play f4, just so this pawn never moves, and even g5, bishop d3,
Yeah, then the bishop's coming out there. Yeah.
knight
Yeah,
f3,
and then what's that
knight
king doing?
somewhere. You know, it's just so easy to come up with moves for white and very hard to come up with the right things for black to do. Very hard. By the way, if bishop d3 happens, then this rook gets stuck with this pawn forever, basically. Because, let's say black prepares to castle on the queen side, we go here. Well, big problem for black is you can never move this pawn because I'll take this.
Mm.
But you can never move your rook if you don't move the pawn, because then I'll take this. Which is just like, this is why it's so good for white. You might not even be winning any pawn right away. Although knight g5 is a very serious threat now if we were to reach this position. But there's just weaknesses everywhere, and it's very unpleasant for black. So there's a lot at stake in this position. Black really does need to play queen f6. Otherwise, I think the momentum switches to white very quickly.
Got you. So
He might
yeah.
spend a lot of time here. Queen f6 is a bit unusual, and it feels risky for black. And there are a lot of other alternative ideas, like bishop f5, bishop g6, g5, queen c7. There's a lot of candidate moves here for them. Plus, the bishop on e4 is hanging, so he needs to make sure he makes a good decision here. Yeah, shouldn't move quickly in this moment. Seems like he's really giving it some serious thought, though. And maybe the longer he thinks, the more likely he is to find queen f6. The thing is, if you play queen f6, it's not obvious to me that black is better in this position. Not obvious at all.
Right.
The queen actually should be pretty safe on this square. But white is still threatening just to take this bishop. Okay, we have to play knight f3 first, because remember, we don't want to get our
We don't want any of those
knight
problems.
traps. Something like if knight takes, pawn takes, then we go here. Well, then g5 traps our knight.
Yeah. Mm.
This is one little trap that Kamryn has to dodge. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big worry. That knight on h4 not getting back in the game. And she may not really want to play f4, but there's going to come a point where you have to do it as white. Because f4 just sort of relinquishes the threat on the bishop on e4. It's no longer under fire.
I'm sitting here trying to decide if or calculate if there was anything if he sacked that bishop
Ooh,
and
yeah.
forced the king to that square.
I mean, it's something that maybe they
There's
consider,
nothing
right?
there, but I'm kind of looking at it like if there's and then the queen comes, is it anything?
Yeah.
And no, it kind of fizzles out, but it was
Yeah.
tempting to kind of look at it.
Well, it's a forcing move. It's worth looking at, yeah, for sure. But if you don't have any follow up after this, then you
No,
really
you got nothing.
can't go for it.
I do think you have an opportunity to now take that pawn, that anchor pawn, to have C takes D5. But then there's nothing after that. Like, cause you can just still maintain your stone wall.
He's played Queen F6, by the way.
Oh, he found it.
That was the best move. Yeah, that was the best move. Okay, so there's pressure on Kamryn now. That's for sure. Nothing. I don't think there's really much danger of her losing any material. I don't see a way that's going to happen unless the knight on h4 gets trapped. I think she needs to play f4 here because currently g5 is a threat.
Yeah.
That is the threat. And by the way, you can't move out of the pin because then black will meet that with bishop g3,
Right.
which
And
threatens
that's
the knight.
just
So we can take this, yes, but they get the knight. And oh, I'm sorry. There's actually just mate. Oh, yeah. Okay. Omar, why'd you let me do that on stream?
Listen, man.
Well, you're supposed to catch me.
It's my fault. I'm sitting there almost like, oh, let me see how he's gonna do it. Yeah.
No, it's not your fault. Oh my goodness, yeah. So you don't want to blunder mate, and you don't want to. But even if
Yeah.
Black does this, it's still
It's
unpleasant. So
it's still there. That's
yeah.
the
Okay. Yeah. So she has to be a little bit careful.
right.
I think now it's important to play f4, which is not really the move you want to make us white because we were really happy to be
Yeah.
attacking
She
this
said that. Yeah,
bishop.
we're happy to take that.
Yeah, but I
But I
don't.
think to your
Yeah.
point, it's not hard to find. It's just hard to play. You don't want to play it, but you see it, and you
Yeah.
still haven't solved your knight problem. Like it's just annoying to have your knight on the rim.
There's sort of no other option here, really.
Yeah.
There's just no other option. I mean, as long as you see g5, if you miss g5, then you might try to play some bishop development move or some queen b3 attack over here.
Yeah.
But you
And
really
then
just need to
yeah,
save your
you're
knight,
down a
and now
piece.
is the time
Yeah.
to play f4 and give it space.
Yeah.
So f4 should be the move, and then that way the knight can come back and get back in the game. We're still, after that, would like to take this bishop, but the thing is that black can now maybe
Yeah.
castle queenside or even kingside. We can move our knight back if we want to. But taking is risky because then g5 is once again a threat, which would trap our knight. We're pinned here. So this pawn can't take because of the pin. This is the point. And even if we stop g5, like for example, if we move our king, we don't have an easy way to ever move our knight back anywhere because of these three squares being guarded. We would have to first eliminate this e4 pawn so that our knight gets a square, and we just can't do it. So the point, not easily.
Yeah.
So the point I'm
No.
trying to make is that we sort of miss out on our opportunity to capture this bishop, which is,
And he's just at this point he's just annoying.
it's
And
annoying.
I guess that's the
Yeah,
point.
well, once
Yeah.
we go back here, we are threatening to take it.
Right.
But at this point, black can drop it back. And then you have to evaluate this position, and, you know, it's not that bad for white, really. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
It's very solid setup. There's not an obvious weakness or target for black. The biggest problem that white has, perhaps, is this bishop. We need to find a purpose for it. We still want to go to d3, but we just can't go there now. We have ideas. Knight e5 is a move.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we could play it.
Okay.
Why not? Actually, we can't just play. I just
I
realized.
was going to say the king being on that square kind of screws up all the goodness.
This knight's not protected enough. It looks protected enough, but it's not, because they can take with the bishop, and after this, the knight can take, and we're pinned. This wouldn't be good for white. We don't want to lose our center pawn like that.
Right.
So, yeah, it's actually not quite so easy to play knight e5. That's unfortunate. Um, so we
So you'd
might
have to spend
that
an
might
extra
mean
move to move the king, and I don't think you want to.
yeah, we could move the king. That's possible. We could also just say, you know what, let's just get some development going. But it's not super clear to me what the bishop does on e2. We can just move it out and be happy about that. A move like g4, g5 is not out of the question, by the way. We could maybe try to play this. Put that
Harry's
doubled pawn
saying
to use.
e5 might come up at some point. I hadn't even thought of that.
E5 for black?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I hadn't even
Not
thought of that.
not sure. Not sure that it's playable in this very moment here. But if they want to open this and go after the king, maybe e5 is one
Yeah,
way to do it. Right now, I think it's pretty locked down because if you play,
she did something.
yeah, or even e5 in this moment, I think she played f4, so
Gotcha. Okay.
we're in good shape. Yeah, in this position, we can just take. I think it's not a big deal. Black gives up a piece. We have very weak pawns,
Yeah.
and knight g4 is a threat. So
I didn't think about
it's
that.
close. It's close. I mean, maybe we can play rook h4. We should be able to defend this somehow. Even dropping the king back is possible if we have to. So yeah, this should be okay for white actually. If we need to protect the pawns, we can. But now we're also ready to do some trades and just simplify. Okay, we have queen f6 on the board and f4. She played the right move. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. Now we just move the knight.
This is a tough battle, and they're like even in time
Yeah.
and everything, and the evaluation is sort of like going like pretty steady. It was a little advantage for white for a moment there, then a little advantage for black now, but they're both playing pretty aggressively, I'd say. They want to win. They want that
With that money.
$1,100. They want that
Yeah.
money. Yeah. Yeah. So this tournament is the South Dakota Governor's Cup. For those of you that maybe are just joining us late, and Kamryn is currently tied for first place, 3.5 out of 4 points. Her opponent is tied with her, as well as 2 other players, and they're gunning for the money. Yeah, they're going for it.
This is a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Very instructive.
Yeah, it might turn into a very positional battle, or maybe black will come up with some tactical idea. I'm not sure. Yeah. There's a lot of things black could do here. They could slow down a little bit and just take a moment to castle one way or the other. Not sure how black would proceed if they wanted to try to like open up white's king and attack. E5 here?
I was just thinking, like, I saw the note,
Wow.
and
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's just.
Mhm.
What do you like? I guess you just push the pawn again, don't you?
This would be to f5. No, because then the bishop
Okay.
can take.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't want it opening up.
I almost feel like you almost have to take that bishop now, don't you?
I wonder if this is what black has in mind actually.
That's
Well,
gnarly.
Yeah, we maybe can, but we still have to worry about g5 stuff on the next turn. Wait, let's say we take that and we hop out of the way, maybe. Well,
I think that
do we
knight's.
take this
I think that
first?
knight's toast. I really do.
Mark not you're giving up on
I
it
think
way
that
too
knight's
easily
toast,
right
man.
now.
Yeah.
No.
I think that knight's done.
No,
He's
it's not
done,
toast.
Ian. He's
No,
done.
no.
He's
No.
hanging out
It's
over
far
there.
from it.
There goes all our money.
But this whole position does revolve around this knight, right? Can white
Yeah.
save it? Can we get it out in a timely way? Can we take this and still extract it? I mean, I'm honestly not that worried here, to be honest. Maybe I should be. Maybe I
Listen,
should be.
you got more guts than I do. I'll give you that.
Well, why can't we play King G1? I guess there's captures on D4 we have to look at, but G5 no longer does much.
Yeah, it's no longer a problem.
take.
True.
And yeah, it's a little awkward at the moment, but we can guard g3 easily enough, and the knight is safe. So something like this. Okay, there's a double threat here, but queen
But the
e1
queen
guards
coming
all of
there,
it.
yeah, it
I
solves
mean,
all
even
that.
king f2 guards all of it. But okay, let's say queen, right? The problem that's lurking is that suddenly black's going to have some captures here on d4, and that's going to be very unpleasant because there's a threat here and there's a threat here.
I don't like any of this.
Yeah, e5 is a good suggestion. This is harder for white to
That's
deal with than I
monstrous.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
Here,
looks like
that's
they can't play it, right?
yeah.
I think white might be compelled to take the bishop,
Yeah.
and then after
And
this
just live
take,
with it. Yeah.
first things first, we take. I really don't like giving up the d pawn, but maybe we have to do it so that they don't have a later capture on d4.
Mm-hmm.
Now when they capture, we drop back so that g5 doesn't win our knight. And also, by the way, we threaten their knight.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're gonna have to do
Yeah, I mean,
something.
this is going to be fireworks if it goes this way. But it's up to black, right? It's up to black. Do they play e5? This would be sort of the ultra aggressive move. Very reasonable idea.
I don't hate it
Or do
for
they
black.
back up?
I really like it just because it's a all the questions are thrown back at white. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
You
there's
know, at that
something. There's
point.
something.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the best move, I just checked with the computer. It's not in the top 3 moves for black, but it might still be fine for them. One of the best moves is just black should castle queenside here. Yeah,
Huh. I
yeah,
would not have expected that. But yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. I think that gives.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that that would give white the opportunity to play knight f3, and then a lot of the danger goes away. Like for example, knight f3. Now e5 is not possible because we can go. We can just take it.
Right.
There's no pin on this anymore. So the thing is for black, if they want to be, if they're in an aggressive mood, which so far he has been, e5 is the move, right? That's the move that you sort of latch onto. Is like, this king has this little fortress. Why can't we break the fortress with some pawn trades, some pawn levers? E5 is very attractive for that reason. Yeah. So, but if he can't make it work, he might take a safer route in castle, and that gives Kamryn the one tempo that she needs to sort of
Right. To
like
be able to do it.
stabilize everything. You know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm not sure what other candidate moves there are. G5 is a little bit interesting. But again, I think what did we say about G5? Just, did we say knight F3? I think
You
we
just
did.
move the knight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is okay. And if takes, it chips away a little bit at our defense, but we should have it all pretty well covered. And if takes, we take this way. Oh, he castled kingside. He slowed down.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, if castling kingside ends up being a bad move, then this will be a turning point in the game, I think,
Yeah.
for sure.
That just I feel like that solved all her problems.
Well, yeah, if she plays knight f3, maybe there's some other moves too, but knight f3 feels like suddenly white is very, very
Yeah,
safe.
that's let me ask you this. I feel like she could almost just take the bishop now.
I
Could she
was
just take it?
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, we would really, really want to take this.
Yeah. I mean, like, because now, okay, you take back.
Well, g5 is still a little bit of a threat. However, g5 I think is less playable for black when the king is here. When it also opens up your king. Okay.
You know what I was thinking here?
Yeah,
Like, the queen, putting the queen on that same file.
yeah, on g4, right? Like we could bring our queen to
Yeah.
g4 or to h5 with some checkmating
Or to H5.
ideas.
Yeah, where you're threatening that.
For sure, we can do this. But the thing I'm worried about is that if we don't have any attack and black just decides to chill, how do we ever get our knight in the game? How do we do it?
I've already said I feel like he's toast. I
But
feel like
you've given
he's
up on the
gone.
knight.
I'm
So,
giving yeah the night has no future.
you can't give up
I
on the
feel like at
knights.
some point we have to sacrifice him. Thank you for your service, sir. You
No, no, no. You got to get that knight back in the game somehow. I mean, the real long-term way to do it is to play G4, G5, G4, and bring the knight back to G2, and then reroute it somewhere somehow. But even
gotcha.
then, like, you're still blocked by your pawns, so I don't even know where you're going yet. Uh, yeah, so I don't think we want to take the bishop, actually. I mean, we want to take it, but maybe not if it means that our knight could potentially be stuck here forever. That's the problem.
Gotcha.
We would like to bring the knight back, and we would love for black to play just some wasted move and then take the bishop. This would be a completely different story because now we're attacking
Right.
here, we're
Yeah. Now
attacking here,
you're it's
and
loveliness.
we're coming
Yeah.
here, and all of the pieces are working very nicely together. And yes, it is very much a stonewallish looking kind of setup, but it's almost a better version of it, I think, because we have our rook on this open file potentially. So, yeah, suddenly there starts to be a lot of ideas for white, and maybe it's a little bit difficult for black to actually come up with. Castling kingside was extremely risky. I'm not sure why he did this move. Maybe just out of sort of some
Just
automatic,
habit. It feels
yeah,
like yeah.
habit almost, but it's again, it's like risky with the rook on the h file. Very
Yeah.
risky.
It's I have to imagine that he's thought of that, but at the same time, my gut says I can defend that. Like as I'm looking at it, that bishop, even though it can be taken, it's a monster. And I'm trying to think of where he invades, just based on where his pieces are aiming.
Yeah, it's not
So when I think
easily.
about
Well,
it from
his
that
attack is
perspective, like
basically
any,
over. Yeah.
yeah, like if I'm
Okay.
him, and I'm just thinking with his, logic of why you would do that. Queen's over there. He has the bishop pair. Um, I don't. Cameron's king isn't castled. I don't see if I'm him where it's coming. Like how the threat's getting in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see how he can really generate many threats against White's king anymore. There was an opportunity there to do something, but
Mm,
it's not there right now. And so White has an opportunity to sort of take control. So the best moves, I just double checked to see, make sure we weren't missing something important. Best moves are knight to f3. That's one of them.
right.
That was sort of the natural move we were looking at. And also, knight takes e4 is
Okay.
actually apparently even.
Is that the second one? I'm assuming. Second move.
Um, Let me go back. Hold on.
I like it a lot now, simply because you have to take it because it threatens two pieces if you once you take it.
It's
It's threatening the
actually the
queen.
best move is to take the bishop. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was. I like it feels like it should be very good. It's definitely what White wants to do, but I was worried about the knight's future. Like we can't go anywhere. You weren't worried about it, but I was.
No, because I feel like he's done already. Like I'm like he's finished. There's nothing you
Yeah.
can do with him. Thank you, sir. You served your purpose well. You've done nothing all game. We're going to just sacrifice you at some point so we can get this win.
Actually, there's a very good move here for White, and somebody in the chat earlier suggested Bishop C4 and D5, but actually White can just play D5 immediately, and this may be a very
Ooh,
critical move to be able to play.
oh, she did something.
She's being aggressive, yeah. Um, I don't really love the move she made, but maybe it's okay. We'll take a look in just a
What
second.
she? I can't. I mean, you
Yeah.
have better eyes than me, man. What did she do?
Well, she went Queen H5.
See, that's what I would have done, which means it can't be right, right?
No, that's not what it
This is what I
means.
was looking at. I was like, well, okay, because the knight's toast.
No,
I'm
the
gonna
knight's
move that
knight's
knight.
not toast. Stop saying that. That knight is alive. The knight's alive.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, okay. So what she's trying to do is some sort of Knight takes e4. I imagine knight takes e4.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that,
Move this
and
knight out of the
then
way and have a mate.
out of the way, and then you get mate. Yes,
Yeah, well, it's
that's
not.
exactly what I was thinking.
The thing is that it's not
This is
actually a
again,
real
this is why
threat.
I like you. This is why you don't do it because this is my plan that I'm looking at. Like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
just do this.
Well, the problem for Kamryn here is that even if black once again does some like wasted move, and we take the bishop, I assume this is the plan. Although actually maybe she's thinking about knight f3 first. But okay, let's say we take this, show this first.
Right,
We don't have a good discovered attack with the knight
right.
because if we go knight f5, attacking the bishop and threatening mate, queen takes knight stops it.
I
So
don't like
we
that
can
anymore.
go knight f3. We can get
Yeah,
our knight extricated from this side of the board, and it'll be alive again. But black can easily defend this with h6.
but then I'm just moving the knight again. I imagine that you don't really get
But we have
much
this.
for it to your point.
We
Oh,
have,
but you have that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we have some taking
Got
off
some
c5
resources.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very messy, very very messy. They're both going for it. They're both trying to win. They're both attacking each other at the same time. That's the recipe for an exciting game.
Yeah, I like it. I
And
like
also,
it.
by the way, the other move maybe she has in mind is knight f3 first, threatening to take the bishop. But in this case, the problem is that the bishop just goes back. h7 is very safe. And where do you go with your queen? Maybe h3 is okay. But it risks being sidelined.
Yeah. You almost have to take that bishop. I feel like you have to take it and then you live with it.
Yeah, you need to get this bishop off the board
Yeah. For
somehow.
her, I'll put it this way,
Maybe
and
95. The 95 is a move, but okay,
I
go ahead.
don't hate that. I feel like though the fact that she played the queen move, you kind of just have to take that bishop and live with the result.
On the next move,
Yeah.
could be. Yeah. But the thing is that I just played some random wasted
You played
move
some
for
random
black,
move. Yeah.
and they were still able to defend. Okay, but I think it's pretty clear that black is on the defensive here. It's very easy to go wrong. And one other idea that I'm just noticing is that maybe instead of a move like knight f3, there's also g4. The idea of going to g5. How does
Oh, I
black
don't hate
deal
that.
with this?
Yeah.
No,
What does he do? Yeah.
yeah. How do you stop g5? Because if you go h6, I play it anyway.
Play it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and after this, you've opened up the h file, so I can go something like knight f5. Now it works because queen
Yeah.
here guards this, but it doesn't stop this.
I like that a lot.
And if you do again, if like you do some wasted move, and now I'm saying that there might be some bishop move.
I was say, yeah, you're gonna have to
potentially.
sack that bishop. You have
Well,
to sack it.
it doesn't work. I mean,
Yeah.
we can hide. Surely we can hide.
Yeah.
But okay.
But like, do you sack it just to prevent? Well, you know, yeah, I think you sack it just to prevent that move.
Well,
Yeah.
you might prevent some big attack. Although actually, we can maybe even go king e2. That seems risky. But king here, you get a couple of checks, but they run out. No more checks.
Mm.
That's one possible variation. Although now the rook is blocked, so it's not helping.
Yeah,
on
now
this
the
attack. But black has to sacrifice a piece to do this. So if you're white
Yeah.
and you're attacking, trying to checkmate somebody, and they have to sacrifice a piece to survive, you're equally happy in that case.
Yeah. Plus that bishop, or rather the pawn, is gonna fall too. Don't think about it. You got two pawns in this position that could fall. The queen's preventing one from saving one. But that other one that's under the knight. Well, no, it can move up. Never mind.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
this position is winning for white. It's just going to take a little bit of time to sort
It's a
of
lot of
get the
work.
pieces
Yeah.
reorganized. I mean, they're all sort of squished on the H and G files somehow, but we're up a piece, so we're happy. And so that's no good for black. Okay, what does black do here? Queen h5. It's definitely a winning try. I mean, Kamryn's absolutely going for it. Black could easily go wrong. What is the danger? Let's say black plays not a ridiculous a6 move. And bishop g6, I think, would be the move that would be perhaps most frightening. But actually, maybe we're just happy to take it.
I'll say you just take it, don't you?
Yeah.
Queen has, well, yeah, queen has to take.
It doesn't have
Well,
to,
no,
but this
queen
is
doesn't have to.
this is probably risky for black. And then
Yeah.
knight here, stuff like this. So I don't think that's in the cards, but queen takes is possible. And then, well, we can move our queen back. We could, okay, things could fizzle out if we just trade.
Right.
Now this is an okay trade for
But
black.
that's ooh.
It looks dangerous, but you'd have to get your rooks doubled. And in the meantime,
Yeah.
black will be able to stop any danger on h file at some point. Okay, he moved. He played h6. Huh. Yeah, we hadn't gotten to this yet, but I think h6 might be bad. Might be bad. Might be very bad. This is what happens when you attack people. It's very hard to play defense. So if you stay aggressive, then chances are they're going to go wrong somewhere at some point. h6. Okay. The reason why in my head I was thinking this is not good is because, first of all, we can take this bishop.
Right.
And then I want to come back and
And we
play
got
this
your
G4
pawn
move.
push move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's going to be, and before I wanted to do it without the pawn on h6. I want to do it even more now. I just because now if we get g5 in, we'll just stick with this a6 move again.
Yeah.
Why not? If we get g5 in, then suddenly taking is very bad because we have knight f5 again, attacking the bishop and threatening mate. But if you move your queen away, back somewhere, before we weren't threatening anything, but now we can immediately open black's king. Yeah, and that's if we don't have something even stronger. We might have something even stronger, but yeah, this probably we just take, right? We want to get the pawns off the
Yeah.
board, open up the
Get that
king.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean black maybe can still survive a little bit, but it's bad. They lose a pawn, and the king is just not safe for a very long time. White could probably sacrifice the knight, but we don't even have to. So
Yeah, I'm thinking you could even
good.
just push the pawn, couldn't you? If you wanted to.
Pushing the pawn is possible, yeah. And also, we might just be happy to move the queen away back somewhere. Here,
Gotcha.
perhaps. Yeah. What if we just go here? And
Well, I have to imagine they're going to push that pawn and
well,
attack the queen, would they?
well, no, they can't because then we take this.
Oh, yeah, this, yeah.
That's the thing. Our queen is safe. Our king is safe. We have an extra pawn, and their king remains unsafe for a long
Yeah,
time.
you don't want, and you can never take it. You'd have to just move.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
h6 was very risky. And maybe the computer will prove us wrong, but I think we take this bishop on. Let me back up a little bit more. h6. I think first things first, we eliminate the bishop because I don't
Yep.
really want to allow it to hide on h7,
No.
or maybe to chase our queen.
That might have been his idea.
It's surely part of the idea, yeah, is to get that bishop out of the way. So we take it.
Yeah.
We don't worry about the fact that our knight has no retreat because we're going to play this. Okay, there's g5 here. Seeing this move.
Huh. Okay.
That's. I just noticed this move, and that's an extremely bold move to play, but it does trap our knight. So what happens here? This is also a threat, by the way. That would be a little bit unpleasant to face.
I hadn't even thought of that.
It's very double-edged, this position. Extremely double-edged. Very aggressive. Any results possible. I think white would play g3 potentially, even if we just do like a simple move like this. Because I'm not sure black really wants to take and unleash the rook and queen together.
Right.
But they can maybe try to neutralize white's advantage with this move. And we may get a situation where white just grabs a whole bunch of pawns. A whole bunch of pawns.
Yeah.
Like this. Attacking the bishop. Okay, black would like to trade queens. Now the bishop's hanging, so they move it away. By the way, the rook protects. And what is the material here? We got 2 pawns for a piece. That's not worth it. Most likely it's not worth it. Although there's still like bishop here taking this, doubling the rooks, trying to win this and go after the king. I don't know what's going on here now. It's a big mess. It's at this point it's probably better for black. I think I take the extra piece. The king feels safe enough, and I'm worried that black might get an invasion coming with the rooks.
Right.
Yeah, so what do we do after g5? Not a6, but g5. That's maybe the big question.
You just take it with the pawn?
No, we can't. It's pinned.
Oh, wait. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, there's still this very annoying pin with the king on f2. I'm trying to think what other options we have. I mean, I think going back doesn't really work. Because of this pawn.
What if you don't take the bishop with that move in mind?
Like here, maybe play g4 now?
Yeah.
g4
This was
now.
your original thought.
Yeah. Queen is almost trapped. So we have to be very careful. Like this move almost traps it, but luckily
Yeah, you have
we
that.
escape back. Well, I don't know, because I mean our king is getting opened up now.
Right.
You play g3. There's all sorts of very dangerous sacrifices where we take and the queen and bishop get in on the other side, and we don't have our counterplay on the h-file, and our queen being on h3 is actually out of play. So there's all sorts of problems here potentially. I'll just show this. Check. Where do we go with our king? It's not so obvious.
Right.
If we go here, black can play this, threatening a checkmate. So we'd have to figure that out. And on top of that, there's also captures like this, which would unleash the bishop here and open up the rook. So, yes, thank you. Thank you, Harry. Yes, you're right. Also, the knight is just hanging, so maybe we... But actually... yeah, oh my god. It's been a long day. Okay. But actually, that's a good illustration of my point that this position is very dangerous for white, even without the knight hanging. You know, so like this can't be good for white. Forget this. Okay, maybe king here, but now we're in the center, and there's all sorts of other dangers.
This is bad.
Yeah, you know, like bishop here, for example, is a lot of pressure on this knight, and white's the one playing defense with no attack on black's king. This is actually a very safe structure for him.
So we're back to taking the bishop.
I think we're back to taking the bishop, although
there's
I don't know how forced all of this was.
I feel like you take it and then you get the queen out of there and you say, I'm happy to have that bishop gone.
Like get the queen back somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. No, but there's g5.
Ideal.
There's still g5, the knight. The knight is always the problem here.
The knight's gone.
No,
I've told you this the entire time. Like the knight's, he should have never gone over there.
Omar, you gave up on this knight like 10 moves ago, but I still have hope.
I'm like every scenario we've tried, except for one of the ones where black makes a bad move, where they play, a6 or something. The knight's like a liability every time.
Yeah.
That's my only concern.
Kamryn,
it's because
all she needs is to find one tempo, one moment where she can save this knight.
Sacrifice.
And that'll save that'll sort of, clear the danger, so maybe the move is knight f3 now.
Maybe just move him, just get him out of there.
Just get it out of there.
Okay.
Because we keep running into these issues time after time. So we get the knight out of there, and then we play this move and this move.
Okay.
I don't see what stops this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, knight f3.
Yeah. Knight f3. Yeah.
And we do. I mean, I really.
I hate that we can't
take
that bishop. That bishop is just annoying me to no end. can't, like, why? Why is that allowed to be there? But yeah, you can't take it. It's poison.
Yeah. Um, but now we're gearing up for this and
You know what?
this.
The more I'm looking at this, Knight F3, it breaks any of those issues or
Yeah.
solves any of the issues because we have a piece in front of the king.
Yeah, and I think I was being maybe a little bit impatient trying to play g4 immediately or trying to take the bishop first and then play g4. I
Well, no,
think,
that makes sense. It's like
well,
you're tempted because the bishop is just annoying. I mean, go away, bishop. You know.
well, here's the thing. If we just save the knight, our tactic of g4, g5 isn't going away. We're still going to have this move because Black's h6 move is a very permanent change in his structure. So we can figure out how do we get g5 in. We don't have to play it immediately. We can take our time and fix our pieces a little bit first and then start to play it. And then we're in business, right?
Okay, let's say
So,
you play that. Where does the queen go if he starts pushing pawns?
well, he can't play here because we take this.
I can't play that because you're going to take there.
He
Okay,
could he
yeah, never
could
mind.
play bishop g6. And then we have to go back somewhere. So let's
Okay.
say h3 seems like the safest spot. I could play a6. Okay, what does black do here though? That's the thing. There's a lot of moves they could do. They could start to develop the rooks. They can maybe go b5, try to play b5, and get something going on the queen side. Maybe they can't play it right away because we take it, but they could orchestrate it. He might think that he's
Oh, she
safe.
made your move. She moved the knight.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like a reasonable move. But g4, g5 is still coming next. So that's dangerous. Once we get our pawn to g5, it's
Yeah.
big trouble for black. I think she played knight f3. Good. Yeah, I think that was the best move.
Yeah, I feel better now.
I do too. It feels like white is stabilizing, and black's threats have ended, and now she can try to make some progress, and be not and without like this knight on each on each four that's
Yeah.
hindering her, right? So
He's going to
let's.
move that bishop. I just have a feeling.
Well, yeah. Now we might be threatening to take it.
Yeah. How far do you think he moves him back? I feel like his better bet is to go uh all the way back.
It's not an easy choice because if you go all the way back, you're sitting in a pin here. And so if we do get g4, maybe we play it immediately.
Mm.
If g5 happens, you can't take with the pawn. You get mated.
Oh yeah, you get. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so he has to hang out and threaten the queen and kind of make her passive.
Maybe, but
I got
but
you.
then when we go
Yeah,
back, we're still have the same idea.
got you.
Yeah, yeah. Bishop c2. Oh. Hey, Sebastian.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, bishop c2 was Sebastian's idea. And well, we can attack that though. I think this just helps our rook. We gain a tempo on the bishop, and if it goes this way, like to the total opposite end of the board, we get bishop d3
But
coming.
now you're exactly
If
where you
our
want to
bishop
be. Yeah,
enters this diagonal, then it's over. If we get this bishop in here, and we have the bishop, the queen and rook aiming in, the knight, potential g4, g5 ideas, forget about it. It's too easy for white to attack. And maybe there's in some world black can defend, but the bishop on a4 is totally out of play. So I don't think it makes sense to throw in bishop c2 for black. I do think that this is so knight f3. I think it's actually a tricky moment for him to figure out what to do, because we might be gearing up just to take. We might just take it. Let's say like a6. A6 is actually a sort of a reasonable move to try to play b5. So it's not just like totally random, but it's slow. But if this happens, maybe we take and we go knight g5 with the idea of just taking it.
Hmm.
We could have played knight d2, but at least this way we tease him and say, haha, you can't take us because we mate you. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I like that too. All right,
I,
I feel bad now because I gave up on the knight and she saved it.
Yeah.
I've been saying he was toast the entire game. I'm like, he's done. Why are we talking about him?
You can't. I mean, the whole position hinges on that knight being able to get back in the game and being active in the attack and not hindering your pieces. You give up on that knight, you might as well resign.
Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, bishop g6
Yeah.
comes with tempo, that's true. But it's still, our attack is sort of inevitable. But yeah, maybe bishop g6 just makes the most sense. I want to backtrack a tiny bit and just see if knight f3 was indeed the best move or if there was something more aggressive we could have done. And also h6, this h6 move. Okay, h6 is one of the top moves here for black, this move. Yeah, he's playing well. And after this, knight takes e4 was good. Knight f3 also one of the top moves. So they're playing pretty accurately right now. And okay, black has a little edge. Yeah, black has a little edge here still, believe it or not. I'm still optimistic that I think white has sort of an easier plan of attack here on the king side. But it seems like black can drum up some counterplay with taking on d4 type of ideas coming soon. But I don't know. It seems a little bit on the slow side to me. We just take back with the c pawn. Yeah, the c file becomes open, so there's potential for a rook to come down after us. Okay, what about queen g6 and then f5? Queen g6 now. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, this is a reasonable suggestion. There's some tactics
I don't hate
here.
that.
There's some. Wait a minute.
If you do that, though, it feels. Well, no, you do that. He's got the bishop pair.
I'm sorry. I think I just realized that white has actually a sneaky threat here.
Huh.
This queen g6 move just sort of. I spotted this idea. Okay, maybe it doesn't quite work. Maybe it only works if the queens are gone, but yeah, okay. So once again, a6. I mean, there's some ideas of taking this pawn, because if bishop takes, then we can take this. And there's this pin coming across. You can't actually take it back. Wait, oh, you can.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh, this is really messy. You get the knight on the end. Okay, so maybe it doesn't work. But you get some position like this, and white's up a pawn. So I think we're happy. We won a pawn. Yay. Yeah, I just spotted this tactic where we can take, and in some positions there's a pin here, and we can take this bishop at that point. Interesting ideas. And I think the reason why I saw it was because after queen here, I was thinking, okay, maybe we let the queens trade, and when the rook comes up, it's a similar type of tactic.
Right.
Looks like it's not quite as good. I was hoping it was winning a piece. Maybe it just wins a pawn. But there's some trickiness in the center. We haven't really been focusing on the center very much.
She made a move. Or did she make it already and he...
She made him... No, she went knight hf3 and he hasn't moved yet, I don't think.
Oh, he hasn't moved yet. Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't moved yet. I was just about to think a little bit more about queen g6. Maybe we drop back to h2. Maybe we just trade it if we feel like we're worse. But I think we want to keep the queen on the board. I think right now her mindset is we're trying to attack black's king, so keep the queen on the board.
Right. It kind of solves this problem for him.
Yeah, backing up all the way is not ideal, though. Maybe we come back knight h4 again.
Sebastian said yes, or would be happy.
Yeah. Oh, being up the pawn? Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know how I feel about this. It's hard to play g4. I went all the way back with the queen because if we go here, we get attacked. And if we go here, we might also get attacked this way.
This is hugely annoying. This is my least favorite kind of chess.
It's very annoying.
This is what we're looking at. It's great to watch. It's awful to play. It's awful to sit in this.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like, both players are trying to grab the initiative constantly, but they have to deal with something, right? Like black here had to play
Right.
h6 to deal with some threats. White wants to play this and this, but has to deal with the knight. And every time we deal with one threat and we're ready to pounce on the next move with like g4 or g5, black suddenly has an opportunity to give us problems. We can defend that and try to give them problems, but it's been very back and forth so far.
Right.
And nobody's really sort of latched onto the initiative yet. Computer's liking black. It's giving black a little edge. But I think I would be pretty comfortable here as white, to be honest. Just okay, maybe we need to look a little more closely at c takes d4. But I really just don't see what the danger is. Okay, if we take with the e pawn, that's a little bit tempting because it keeps the c file closed for now.
Right.
But there is a potential minority attack later on for black if they have time to do that. But also we can't push g4 anymore because this pawn is weak.
Ah, fair point.
So if black does take on d4, we are probably compelled to take this way. And actually we do need to... oh no, sorry, there's no knight sack right now because of the knight. That's the other nice thing about bringing this knight back is it does help defend the center.
Okay, helps with that.
Guards this, guards this, guards this. Yeah, what is the deal? I don't think there's... This is what the computer wanted black to do, so what is the big deal here?
Is there any, like, shouldn't we do something with the light squared bishop?
Yeah. It has been sitting there for a long time, right?
For yeah, he has not moved.
That's true, yeah. Well, the problem is we just don't have a good square for it right now. Like where
like
can we
b5.
go? Yeah,
I don't hate b5 for it.
Yeah.
He's done nothing. He's the new knight.
He's the new knight. Take it off the board.
Get off the board.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. You're not doing anything. You are not helping.
Yeah.
Go be helpful. Go take that knight out of here, who's also doing nothing.
And that's why we want to take this bishop on e4 so badly. We want to get rid of this so that our bishop can finally participate.
Can participate and have some. But even if you take that, he still doesn't have, a. Well, if you take, then you can bring the knight, the other knight down to his position, and potentially get that pawn as well. And now you've got threats on the queen and the bishop.
Yeah, you're talking about taking and then retreating the knight to
and rerouting.
Again.
Yeah.
That's true. That pawn becomes a weakness, which is why black is probably going to play bishop g6 at some moment here.
Yeah.
I think they go back to g6 to gain the tempo on the queen, which buys them a little bit of time to try some sort of counterattack somewhere. I'm not sure where exactly. And yeah, but there's still this lingering kingside attack for white if she can manage to get it organized. One idea that you sometimes see in similar London system positions is to go rook c1. We looked at a move with rook c1 earlier, actually, but there could be more of a purpose to it, like an actual good reason to go to c1 in particular, and that would be to get the bishop involved in the game like this, to zigzag it all the way to c2 and use it to trade off for that bishop wherever it ends up going.
I like that a lot.
And it's a lot of moves. But,
it's a lot of moves.
But if black has no active threats on us, we might have time to do it. And to be honest, I mean, your point, Omar, about wanting to get this bishop to do something is a good one. This is black's best piece. We would love to trade them off. It's just not easy to simply go bishop d3.
Yeah.
So that might be the way to do it. If we have nothing else to do, that could be how we would do it. But the question would be, do we really want to spend all those tempos to actually go and do that? Not easy. By the way, after bishop g6, I think we actually play queen h4. I think this would be the best move.
Okay.
We have a tiny threat of taking their queen.
Yeah.
And if they take our queen, we can fix our pawn structure. We no longer have the doubled pawns.
Got it.
And we can play g4 and pawn storm them this way. Now we have a queenless middle game, but we still have attacking ideas. So, yeah, this would be interesting as well to go into something like this.
She went all the way back.
Uh-huh.
He did. Yeah, both moves happened, and she went all the
Bishop
way back.
G6 all the way back. I'm sorry, not
Yeah,
not Queen H4, Queen H2. Yeah.
yeah, she went all the way back. Which,
Oh, sorry, you might have had a
I
little
don't hate
lag
it,
there. Yeah.
even though I hate it. Yeah. There's a part of me that almost wants to put the knight back on the ground.
Ay, ay,
Put him right back. It's all right. We're just gonna do this again.
Yeah, this is a
Um,
very interesting game. It's actually sort of hard to classify it. Is it positional or a tactical game? It's maybe like waffling between the two.
yeah.
Like every time somebody tries to get some tactic going, the other side shuts it down. Okay, we have a
He just took
trade. Yeah,
something.
he took on d4.
Oh, okay. He took the pawn.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he took on d4,
Yeah.
I think. And okay, I mean, I think we take back however we want to. Maybe even with the e pawn. If we take with the e pawn, we pretty much abandon our g4 g5 idea though. But taking with the c pawn invites some risk of an invasion by black on the c file, which would be unpleasant.
Yeah. Feels like that's what he wants.
That surely would be the plan. Yeah. So
In this position, I'm uh probably taking with that pawn, but at some point, I'm going to get rid of that light square bishop and take that knight away. Uh, and the only reason I say that is because
oh, you want to play bishop b5 and take the knight.
yeah, I want to take that uh, because I don't see a ton of other. Uh, we've got the bishop here, but I feel like the knights, based on where the king is, I don't know. I just knights are scarier to me. I was about to. My logic was going to be like, well, I don't see a ton of diagonals, but the light squares are actually pretty open. Maybe I don't want to do that. But I just feel like that bishop's done nothing the entire game, so it should do something. And I feel
Well,
like it's
yeah.
because it's not doing anything. It's not the rooks aren't connected. This is me being very impatient, is what this is.
Yeah,
It's
bishop.
just torture for me because I'm very aggressive in playing, and I'm like, do something. You know, like that meme with the dude with the stick. Do something.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like,
This is why I lose these games. This is
well,
exactly why.
this
This drives me nuts.
the thing is, black's knight's not doing anything really that great either. So if we're gonna trade our light
Fair
squared
point.
bishop,
So yeah,
I'd
if they're
rather
gonna
trade
do
it for this
nothing,
one.
yeah.
You know, I'd
My
rather trade
fear here
bishop for
though is
bishop.
like once you take that pawn, now Black's knight gets in the game
Maybe.
potentially. Yeah.
So this is sort of an important decision for Kamryn. She can take this way, but it looks like there's a lot of counterplay coming. She could take with the e pawn, but then she sort of loses out on some attacking potential that she would have otherwise have on the king side, because now this pawn would hang if you ever push that g3 pawn. But this would be more solid. And she chose a third option, I think, if I'm not mistaken. She took with the knight.
See, I don't hate that
That
because
was
I
that
want that
knight on
knight gone.
h4.
Yeah, I want that knight to go away because the knights are scary.
Yeah, I actually liked it on f3. It was very good there. But the other knight can do
I
the job.
don't want to, but you can always put the other knight there. So I don't hate this. I was like either, but and because of the bishop, the light squares, I don't hate that. If you're going to get rid of that piece that's doing nothing, you can take that and then get your knight in position, your other knight back where the previous knight was, and now you've got some. You can put your bishop somewhere,
Yeah,
you
but you
know,
know what?
E2 or something.
This knight takes d4 move was a mistake. It was a mistake. You just had to be more solid and take it with one of the pawns because,
Really, like why is this bad?
well, because first of all, remember this knight was black's one piece that was sort of out of play. It
Oh,
wasn't
he
so
wasn't doing it. You're
easy to get
inviting
in the
him.
game. Now it can just
Gotcha.
trade off,
Okay.
and this knight was bad before, but you got to remember, like, that changes, right? It was bad
Yeah.
on F3. It's
Went
good.
bad where it was.
Now it's
Yeah.
going to trade off your good knight for Black's okay knight, and so.
Ah, I
But on
got
top
you.
of that, I think there's tactics now. So let's say knight takes d4, which is very, very likely to happen.
Yep.
And okay, which way do we take? I don't know, but if we take with the e pawn, then e5. This is very dangerous for Kamryn. Very dangerous
Mm.
because there's a threat to take this,
Yep.
but there's also a threat to take this. And if you take this way, well, first things first, Black can just take this if they want to because of the pin.
Yep.
And bishop c5 may also be extremely dangerous and annoying. Just sacrificing the pawn, essentially. Where does this king go? We're sort of stuck in the center now, and we'll never be safe. On the other hand, Black's king is safe. So this line would be Black sacrificing a pawn. Maybe. They could have taken this, but if they want to go for bishop c5, they've sacrificed a pawn. But look at White's king. It
Yeah.
cannot castle. It's going to be big problems if Black ever orchestrates an attack on it. Moves like queen b6 would be very strong. Moves like f6, getting the rooks to the center, pushing this pawn. There's tons and tons of ideas for Black to try to open up the king even more. And so for this very moment here, we don't have good control over e5. The knight was controlling it, the pawn was controlling it. And so even pushing the pawn now might be a possibility.
Oh, geez, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because
Well, now we're just taking their knight. Yeah.
sure, but
But
what are
still,
you doing about
it's,
this?
yeah, what do you do about this? It's because the king's like, yeah, the king's just, I guess but you're gonna, yeah, none of this is good. Because even if you move the knight to where I want it to go, you don't have to take. You could just push the pawn again. You know, am I thinking of like to put something in front of the king? You could just push the pawn just continue pawn storming.
Yeah, no,
You could, yeah,
it's a problem. Yeah,
yeah. You could put the bishop on e2 here. You're gonna one of those pawns is gonna fall, but you would have the bishop. But White's on defense at that point. To your point, yeah.
no, it's a dangerous, very dangerous situation.
See, and this is why you sacked that knight. That knight was a problem the entire time, like I told you earlier.
Okay, but there's still a lot of different ways this game could go. We don't really know for sure.
What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Black first of all has to see these e5 ideas, and they're not super clear cut. He could just trade
True,
and trade,
true.
and then it's nothing. Maybe we do a battle on the c file, or maybe White takes this way, or maybe doesn't trade and does something different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because the king isn't safe, wherever there's no take I like. There's no retake that I like if he takes with the knight. There's no capture I feel good about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately, and I'm not gonna see the end of this.
Oh yeah. It's a
Yeah,
night for you.
yeah, it's a.
Okay.
I probably got about another 10 minutes I can go
Okay.
before I have to tap out.
That's fine. Yeah,
I was just
Omar
looking
has
at
an
it like,
early
oh
morning
man,
tomorrow, and
yeah, got early morning tomorrow.
he's
So you're
gonna
gonna have to
head
let
out
you have to
early.
let me know, like, man, how did it turn out?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see. I still think, even though Black is a bit better now, it still could go a lot of different ways.
This knowing Cameron, this will go the distance.
Oh yeah.
She'll figure something
Oh, for
out.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
even in those lines we were looking at, it's possible for white to fight back. So yeah, yeah, definitely possible.
Oh, I hate that this was a mistake. I
Yeah.
felt real good about it. I was like, yeah, let's get that out of there. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, just that knight was
But
labeled a
yeah, it's
bad
the
knight
place
on
for the
h4.
king.
It's
I
not
wasn't
a
even
bad
thinking
knight
about it.
forever. It
Yeah,
comes back in.
yeah.
It's suddenly good, and now you don't want to trade it anymore. So you have to be able to switch your mindset there a little bit. Yeah. And he's played a move. I think he did something different,
He didn't take.
like a bishop c5 or something. Yeah, bishop c5. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
I think
looks
just based on what you said, I'm
looks
going to move the knight back.
it's strong, but it's not as no. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe this is very dangerous looking to
But
me.
none of it's good, man. None of it's good. Just because the king is not safe. There's nothing I like.
Well, e5 could become a threat very soon, so this is still a pretty serious situation for Kamryn. Maybe knight f3 is a move. It's one move. Queen h4. It might actually be in her interest to trade the queens,
Just
get them
get the
off the
queens off the
board now.
board.
Because if
Yeah,
if the center is going to open up, if you're anticipating that, then you
that's
really want to
very
get the queens
educational.
off the board. Yeah.
Yeah.
So queen h4 or something like that, trying to get it off, would
Where
be
does he go
very
with the
prudent.
queen if she does it? I don't think he can avoid it. I think he'd have to do it.
Yeah, I think it forces a queen trade, and that might be what Kamryn has to do now. By the way, we're
Yeah,
probably pretty okay with a draw, right?
yeah, yeah. Given how this is, turned out in with black, I gotta give it to him. That night, or rather the bishop was the MVP.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll give him that. Getting that bishop in that position has been
this one,
annoying. It's
right?
gonna
The one I
bother
was
me,
at
and I'm
before.
not even playing. Yeah, like that's just, it's just, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, but
I can do
bishop
nothing.
c5 was a little bit of a missed opportunity for black. There was definitely something good there. What was the best move? It was knight takes d4. Either pawn takes, but after c takes, it was rook a c8. Very
Yep.
very dangerous. So you're not going to take that way. You're going to take the e pawn, and then e5 immediately. Yeah, we did show this line. Yeah, this was the
Yeah.
best way, and it's nearly a 4 point advantage for black. Like that's how dangerous this is for white. But but he did not play this line, and the knight lives on. He played bishop c5, and suddenly, yes, queen h4 trading off the queens, and white's okay. Although it's still an edge for black, but the big advantage has gone away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big missed opportunity for him. But bishop c5 is sort of a tempting move anyway. Yeah, I could see why you would want to
Yeah,
do that.
because there's nothing I dislike about it. If she takes, okay, he takes back with a pawn, and then his rooks get in.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I think it makes sense to take a little break now. I know you need to head out. I need a
I
little
do need
break.
to, yeah.
And then Cameron's thinking. She'll probably think for a while in this position anyway. So I need to go refill my drink, and then I'll be back. And
All right,
Omar,
and
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks
Thanks
for joining
everybody.
us on the stream.
Yeah,
And it's been real. We'll update you on what happens.
yeah, man. Let me
And
know. Let me know what happens.
okay, sounds good.
It's like I don't know how she'll do it, but I'm hoping she pulls off. Like what I can't wait to see is how she pulled it off.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
wait a minute, he did what? Is that how she won it? That's what I would love to see.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
feeling there's a lot more twists and turns left to this game, so we'll.
Hey, thanks, Sebastian. Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I do
Yeah,
too. Man, this is a pretty good game.
yeah.
All right, Ian.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you guys.
so quick break. I'll be back. Take care, Omar. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will be back in a minute. Let me just let's see. I think switch scenes when Omar takes off.
I was gonna say, yeah. Did you have another scene? Or is
Yeah,
it
I
just
do.
going to be blank?
No,
Where?
you can you can head out when you're ready, and I'll
All right,
just need
brother.
a minute to adjust things a little bit. But thank you. Bye, Omar.
Thank you, man. Talk to you guys later. Bye
Yep.
bye.
See ya. Okie dokie. Yeah, oh yeah. Things look pretty bad now. All right, give me a second just to tweak things a bit, and just ignore all of this nonsense. Here we go. Oh, she's crooked. How did that happen? Oh no, and I'm missing too. Okay, there's me. And I need to fix the webcam because this is not the view we want. Okay. How did that happen anyway? Ah. There we go. Fixed. Magic. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Too small. Sorry guys, it's been a little bit since I've been doing the whole streaming thing, so... Alright, we have them back now. There we go. That's much better. Okay, well, Kamryn thinks I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment, and we will continue with the rest of this game. Oh, let me fix the board for you. That got a little bit thrown off there as well. There we go. All right. I'll be back 5 minutes or so. Okie dokie, I'm back. So, we have one move that we haven't looked at yet that I was not expecting. But actually, I wasn't really sure what Kamryn was going to play in this position. She played g4, and knight takes d4. Just played right this moment. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of these developments. Position looks better than it did an hour ago? Maybe. Maybe. There's still a problem with this bishop. There's still some annoying tactics with the pin here. So, for example, if we take with the e-pawn... Well, okay, well, actually, we gotta save the bishop first. Bishop might go back, but then e5 is a threat. Because both pawns are pinned. Yeah. So there's still some danger for white. She has not managed to solve all the problems yet. On the other hand, it looks like she's trying to attack at the same time, and this could be dangerous for black. So it's a swashbuckling game, everybody. I think it could go either way right now. Not sure how she plans to recapture this. Maybe with the c-pawn. That could make a lot of sense. And yeah, I mean, this g5 move is very dangerous for black. I see why she did it. You know, even if it wasn't technically the best move, practically it's very scary looking for black. I'm a little bit surprised he took on d4, and the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm liking what's happening for white. Because if we just take with the c-pawn and say the bishop moves here, attacks our knight, okay, so we bring it to f3, that helps us a bit. The king feels much safer, and there's no pin here, so there's no e5 threat. And if we play, like, the knight might hop in and help with an attack at some moment. Yes, rook c8 is possible, but I'm not sure if rook c2 is really how dangerous that is. Like, maybe we just go king g1 and not a big deal. And in the meantime, g5. This is the move that Kamryn very clearly would like to play. And, okay, just to show, you can't take because it's mate. So you have to move the queen. Maybe here. Feels slightly risky, actually, for black to go here. There's potential of the queen getting trapped, like a rook d1 move. And if you were to get bishop d3, the queen would be in trouble. Yeah, maybe queen f5 is okay, though. I don't know if you can actually organize the bishop d3 move. But something like this, again, scary for black's king. We don't have to go after the queen. Why don't we go try to checkmate, right? So this probably is not good for black either, and the bishop sitting here makes it hard to just avoid any pawn trays with like a pawn g6 type of move. Yeah. No, there's some real danger for black here, as well as white. Maybe it's turning a little bit. Because it's been better for black for a good chunk of the game now. It was very good for them a few moves ago, but he did some other a little inaccuracy with bishop c5. This could be the reason right here, because now suddenly Kamryn can take and gain a tempo on the bishop. That could turn out to be a very important tempo. And yeah, g5 is coming. That's definitely what white wants to do, and the thing is that black needs to be able to get the queen out of the way ahead of time and not lose the bishop, right? Has to be able to save both so that g5 could be answered with h5. But even here, so putting aside the fact that we can just take this bishop, even here, g4 happens. And this h-file gets opened. Anybody can win this game. And I'm liking white's chances. Kamryn's thinking, though, about which way to take this knight, I assume. Actually, g5 immediately is a move. That's a nice one. You could play g5 now. force the queen away, then take this. Maybe this move order is the better way to go. Because suddenly black has to worry about this and this. And what do? Bishop here attacks the knight, but I mean, one possibility is to move it, but also maybe we can take this. Can we take this? And this looks very, very dangerous for black. Yeah, there's a bishop sack. That doesn't really do anything. So the only defensive idea that I can see is to take this pawn and just black has to pray that it's somehow not mate. And maybe it's not mate. But at the minimum, we win their queen. Maybe there's some subtle thing I could see where like black had to actually move the queen back to d8 for that reason. so the queen would be protected, right? That would be a very subtle little detail. Queen d8, not e7. And so that after takes, here takes. Take the knight. And after this, check. White might not have anything better than just a draw. That would be incredibly frustrating if all white has is a draw here. It is indeed a draw, says the computer. Okay. Well, yeah. This whole line is a draw. Just backing up. But white can play knight f3 is the other alternative. And knight f3, white's a teeny tiny bit better. Yeah. Because we maintain our idea of taking on h6 and getting an attack on the king. But on the other hand, by doing this, black gets a tempo to try to do something to save themselves. I mean, it's one of those games where you kind of want to launch full on with your attack, but you keep having to make one defensive move here or there, and that gives your opponent one tempo that they need to save things. Right? Being able to play this bishop move is very important. Because if we take on h6 now, they can play g6. And we actually can't really get in with our queen. We can play h7, but we don't have the knockout. Very tricky position, okay? And she has taken c takes d4. So we may get this very line if bishop here, pawn g5. Oh, wow. Okay, bishop to b4, computer says equal, bishop d6, computer says equal. And there's one move for black to have an advantage here. Oh, jeez. It's a doozy. It is definitely not easy to see. But the move is bishop takes d4. Wow. Not an easy move. Bishop takes d4. I mean, if black thinks that g5 is a super serious threat, then this is what they're going to do. And the problem for white is that after pawn takes, queen takes check, and we go king e1, but then there's queen takes b2, and already black has 3 pawns for the piece. But what do you do with your rook? The rook is in fact trapped, because after rook d1, there's just bishop c2. Wow, that's an unbelievable line. That's pretty forcing as well. So except for that, white does have one alternative here. The best move is actually g5. Jeez. g5. And then black has only one move to survive. Bishop takes e3. Rampaging bishop. And after king takes, black has to play queen takes b2. Again, only move to survive. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. What a mess. What a mess this is. Right, rook d1. and then e5. Just at this point, if black could open the position, that's all they need to do. The rooks will come in and white's king will be toast. And it's still very chaotic, but I think at this point, white's attack is not fast enough, and white's king is going to be the target in this situation. So, yeah, bishop takes d4 is basically a winning move for black if he finds it, and it has been played. Yeah, I think it would be very hard for Kamryn in this position, unfortunately for her, to survive this. It's very dangerous. Wow, that's an outstanding move by black. Have to give him props there. Okay, maybe it's not totally over yet. I suppose there's a lot that could happen here. Kamryn already played the best move. Wow. So we're going down this line. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Welcome everybody. If you didn't tune in, if you weren't tuned in earlier, we are watching the final round of the South Dakota Governor's Cup. Kamryn's game is board 1 because she currently is 3.5 out of 4 and is tied for first place with 3 other players, including her opponent. And well, it's all coming down to this game. We got $1,000 on the line. Kamryn's been on a hot streak, but she's in trouble at the moment. So that's where we stand. And okay, but there's still a lot of tactics here. This is where you lose with both colors, yeah. Blitz nightmares. No, eval bar, I can turn on for a second, says that bishop takes e3 is minus 3 points, winning for black. But any other move is better for white, suddenly. Which makes sense, because the point is that if black moves their queen, say queen f5, we take the bishop, they no longer can take this with check. That's the point. Okay, they need to be able to take with check. Otherwise, white regains the initiative with some threats, perhaps. Okay. And okay, yeah, was it played? King. Okay, yeah. Bishop takes e3 was played. King takes e3. Oh, jeez. And now queen takes b2 is the only move. Okay. Only move. What a game. Yeah. The thing is that for black, it's not even clear where the checkmate is, if there even is one. So he's taking a little bit of a gamble here going into this line. I'm not sure. Queen takes b2. Yeah, queen takes b2 probably is just the most natural thing to do here. Surely that's what he's going to do. I'm having trouble even thinking about what else he might do, because queen f5, you don't have any follow-up checks. These squares are all guarded by white, right? So yeah, it wouldn't be queen f5. It would definitely be queen takes b2 with attack on the rook with some checks to come on the next move. The only thing is, yeah, okay, queen takes b2 is played. But there's a lot of questions. I mean, white has a ton of moves here. Yeah, we can't quite sacrifice our rook, although I'm partially tempted. This is a little bit too wild, though, maybe. You almost have a mate, but the problem is the queen comes back and stops everything. So we can't take on h6. What do we do? The other problem is that I would like to play bishop d3, actually. I wouldn't mind doing this and having some sort of bishop trade, but I think queen c3 is very strong. I think black can just win this bishop. So really, I think the only move is going to be to move this rook out of here. And this is the line that I showed earlier, I think, right? With rook to d1. Yeah, rook d1. And then a pawn break in the center. I don't know if this is black's only move or not, but it certainly looks very scary. I don't know. If I was black, though, I'd be a little bit concerned that somehow it's not fast enough to play e5, right? Because now there's taking on h6 again. It's very messy situation. If we take here, of course there's pawn takes, so it's probably very good for black. But I don't know. Maybe we even go king f4. I don't know. I don't see the mate. I see a bunch of checks. I have no idea what's happening anymore. I doubt this will happen. But it'd be pretty funny to see this king on f4 surviving like this. What's happening in the camera view? Okay. Yeah, king is very much exposed. Not a good situation to be in. And all of the chips for Kamryn are in on this h-file attack, but we just haven't had a chance to execute it yet. And that's the problem. Is we just really needed, ever since like the beginning of this game, we really just needed like one extra tempo. What was the eval for immediate g5 after black's knight takes d4? We back up a little bit. Knight takes d4, immediate g5. Yeah. Oh yeah, we looked at this move, I think. g5 was the best move in this position, yeah. Yeah, that was what I thought. Because if we play g5, it forces the queen off of this square, right? We play it first. Ah, yeah. Thank you, Maple Valley. Yes, that was. I didn't really quite put that together, I think, earlier, but we play this move order in this position, g5 first. That was crucial because then the queen is kicked off that diagonal. The knight doesn't have time to move, so we're going to take it on the next move anyway. And if it goes to f5, we take bishop b4, and it's anybody's game. It's anybody's game. And if the queen goes back somewhere like the e7 or d8, then white's just actually much better. Because we take with this pawn, actually, and there's not even a tempo with the bishop to be gained. It was critical position. Yeah, you're right. I had a feeling when we were here, this is sort of like the automatic move to do, but she thought for a fair bit of time, I think, in this position. Maybe she considered taking with either pawn. I wonder if she considered g5 right away. Maybe didn't notice the nuance of this queen being able to get to b2, you know? The bishop sacrifice on d4. The bishop sacrifice on d4 and then the bishop sacrifice on e3 is sort of difficult to spot. You know, I don't know if black even had that in mind either. Maybe that might be the type of thing he only came up with once she played g5 finally. But g5 now, yeah, very important to dislodge this queen so it's not part of the gang that's attacking d4 anymore. Yeah, that was a key moment. Okay, well, anyway, this is how it transpired. Oh, sorry, this didn't happen. We're on queen takes b2. Queen takes b2, and it's Okay, I left the computer on by accident, so now I now I see. It's rook d1 is the best move, but it's -3 for black, so pretty big advantage. Yeah, pretty significant. But maybe not all that simple to play. All right, because the thing is that black's going to have some decisions coming up after rook d1. Like, what do you play? Do you play e5, try to open it up? Do you bring a rook to the center? Do you prepare it? Do you play some sort of check first? And you know, there's still some hope for Kamryn, because if black doesn't play this in the best way, I could see her crawling back in, or maybe revitalizing this h-file attack at some moment. So yeah, it's not completely over yet, but it's definitely a dangerous situation for her. This is the biggest advantage black has had so far in this game. So, and she's thinking about what to do. Huh. I wonder if other moves like knight b3 might be considered here. Although I'm not sure how that would be much better than rook d1. The nice thing about rook d1 is if black gets tempted to snag another pawn, if they get greedy, thinking, oh, I got 2 connected pass pawns, it's the wrong approach. That takes too long to do, and white then could be back in business. So I sort of like rook d1 because it tempts black maybe to try snag one more pawn, get a little greedy, and suddenly they could be under fire. The queen needs to be on this diagonal in a lot of these variations, so not ideal to take that pawn. And rook d1 could sort of just maybe put it in their mind that, hey, free pawn, come get it. And I don't know if there's any advantage to a move like rook e1. Oh, she's playing knight b3. At least it looks like knight b3. Yeah. This is reasonable. The knight does cover some good squares. The rook's not hanging anymore. It's protected now. What does black do here? Okay, I mean, one extremely dangerous looking move now that this knight has moved is rook c8. I would be very scared about this, because after rook c3 there's nowhere to hide. Where do you go? Rook c8. That could be a very dangerous move. Yeah. What does white do here? Is h5 too cowardly? Well, h5, maybe it's too cowardly. Yeah, but g4 is the move white wants to play really badly. Want to play this move because not only would we like to try to open this up on the h-file, but we also wouldn't mind a queen trade. But short answer is yes, h5 too cowardly. I think black has been successful so far with it going after the king. I mean, look at this king in the center. Let's hunt it down, right? What do you even do after rook here? Because this is a checkmate threat. Unless you're planning to hide the king on d4, but that you'll never survive that. So, yeah, I don't see what white can do about this. What do we try here? c8. Okay, maybe we just pure... No, pure defense doesn't work because black just takes it. And if we take, it's the same issue. I mean, there's rook takes here. There's probably rook c4 check. There's probably rook h3 check. So we can't do this. We could try to run, but I'm not too optimistic. Rook c3 perhaps? King g4. No, but then there's... Well, there's... Okay, there is h5, and we go here. And after check, we go here. I mean, this would be a good way for black to blow it. If we let the king get to safety on h4. I don't think this is going to happen, though. By the way, there's no mate, because we just had bishop e2. Finally, the bishop gets in the game, right? If this bishop never moves, Kamryn's going to hear it from Omar. He's going to be like, Kamryn, you never moved that bishop. Why didn't you move it? There wasn't really a good opportunity, to be honest. Okay. So, alright, can we survive this somehow? I'm very skeptical. There's all sorts of checks. Here? How do you guys like this? King becomes part of the attack. There are no checks. Oh, I have to take it back. There's actually a killer blow here. It's very nice. Rook g3. Queen takes. Queen f6. Brutal. Yeah, I don't think the king running is going to survive. And we have rook fc8. Okay. That's a good move. I mean, just in case we ever do get something coming down the h-file, the king will have a chance to run away. Okay. Yeah, rook to the c-file's a big problem. I think we have to try to run. I mean, I just don't see another option. Yeah, definitely an interesting game. I'm sure Kamryn won't be too happy because it was such a good tournament until now. It still will be a good tournament, even if she loses this game. But it could have been, maybe one of her best tournaments ever. It's not over yet, but it's not looking good. She moved kind of quickly. Wait, she didn't. What did she do? Bishop to e2. Ah, okay. I see. Well, does the knight h5 line usually get this crazy? I've had my fair share of extremely crazy London system games, so people that say, oh, the London system is so boring, haven't played it enough, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, bishop e2. This is a good idea, actually. I don't know why this didn't occur to me. It's a good idea. And she's going to try to hold on and hide behind the bishop. She's going to put the king on f2. Yeah, this is a reasonable try. And don't forget, white has an extra piece here. So this bishop, if it gets involved in the game, like when you have this extra material, you have to use it. And once you start to use it, then oftentimes you can start to feel the advantage of it. But if it's still not in the game, then it's sometimes hard to realize that advantage. Now, black has a lot of pawns for it, but we got to get this bishop in the game. Omar, if he was here still, would be cheering this move. Yeah, and by the way, the London system can also appear very boring looking. But if you go back and look at Cameron's round three game, or if you watch our analysis from the other day, from yesterday, out of nowhere, it became extremely tactical, and Cameron won a very nice game. It was actually an extremely good example of how to attack a king that's castled and otherwise looking safe. So it was like a textbook attack that she had. Definitely worth checking that out. Okay, let's see. Rook c3, I think, is the move. After king f2, I suppose rook c2. Right? What if we just try to win this bishop? And it may be that there's not a way to hold on to it. So, for instance, rook e1, bishop d3, and maybe we can get away with knight c1. I mean, it's a struggle for white, but it's holding on. So, you believe in white here? Yeah, I've seen crazier comebacks. I've seen crazier things happen. I mean, white. If black doesn't make this work somehow, there's an attack on the horizon, right? There's definitely an attack on the horizon. So, there's some pressure. Clock is ticking a little bit, right? 17 minutes. Oh, that's the other thing, though. They do get a 30-second increment, so you're never really in, like, horrible time trouble. But, yeah, okay. Maybe there's rook takes c1 here. I don't know for sure. Because after this check here... But still, life goes on. Well, white's alive. I think he went right for rook c2 straight away. Interesting. Rook c2 straight away. And if we go rook e1, rook a to e1 is the more accurate way, by the way, because we want to keep some ideas of an attack on the king on the h file with this h rook. But also, if we go here, I think then bishop d3 is actually... Oh no, it doesn't quite work. I was thinking the king can't take because of this. That would be checkmate. But the bishop could maybe take. So, yeah, okay. Well, I was thinking in some line where white needs to play knight c1, you can't do it because of queen takes a1. So, I did, in the other previous line, I did move this a rook over on purpose, because in this line, after this, knight c1, you don't want your rook hanging on a1. Although even that would have been interesting, because then at least we could take this. So, okay, anyway, we have rook c2 and we have rook a e1. Yeah, makes sense. I don't see a killer blow for black. It's not like immediately apparent to me. Feels like black is better. I'm sure black is better. But where's the knockout? Where's this knockout blow? We could play... maybe it's d4. With the idea that if king f2, then there's d3. And that's bye-bye bishop. That's a big problem. And if we take it, then there's queen c3, which wins the knight. Yeah. Okay, d4 is very strong. But there's still king f3. How does black win this? Somehow, it's not so simple. Okay, e3. Maybe we're just trying to get this pawn through. That would not be on my radar as black. I just want to checkmate this king already. But okay, now bishop goes back. I think it's pretty forcing. There's a check, but it might just be getting white's king closer to safety. What is going on here? Maybe there's a little bit of hope. Okay, d4 is played. Yeah. Is that the best move? It was the best move. But after king f3, the best move is just to take on a2. That's what the computer is giving. Oh, now it's saying rook ac8, bring the other rook in. So yeah, that's an interesting thing here, is that after d4, which has been played, still big advantage for black. But one thing he maybe has to realize is that there is no mate. And at some point, it's just better to start taking stuff. That's a difficult realization to have, because I mean, look at white's king. You think it's going to be a mate for sure. Okay, there's still some hope, people. Don't look away yet. don't leave yet. There's still a little bit of hope. Definitely, we fight this on. I mean, the thing is that king f2 is too simple. You just played d3, so you have to try king f3 here. And I think he's going to be struggling in that position. I think after king f3, black's going to have to hesitate and be like, okay, well, how do I... Where's my win? Queen a2 isn't the most natural move to do. It's moving the queen further away from the king. Yes, yes. Maybe there's a legendary swindle coming. That would be pretty spectacular, yeah. Legendary swindle. Let's go. All right, how can we do it? King f3. Let's say queen check. Well, then we have no choice. Oh, sorry, actually we do. No, I mean, here once again there's this. Okay, we have to go up. Up we go. Check. Here. No more checks. I'm not sure what Kamryn's spending so much time on. I mean, she must realize the position is not good for her. She doesn't look too happy. But, I mean, king f3, run to h4. You get to h4, maybe with your extra piece, you have a chance, right? Maybe. I just turned on the computer and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done it. Yeah. The problem is that at any moment, black can actually switch to a plan of just take this pawn. The knight is pretty awkwardly placed. It's in danger all the time. And so her extra piece might just disappear. So if black realizes, okay, the king is safe, they have a fallback plan, which is just to win material. Oh no, she did something different. She took on d4. Okay. Well, taking on d4, the problem is just queen c3, and that is going to be game over for the knight. The knight is lost. Check, and if you go here, check. It's not immediately made it, but now she's just down a bunch of pawns with not really any counterplay. And in fact, there is rook takes e2 here. If black wants to simplify further, you can do this move. Oh my goodness, there's even bishop d3. Ah. Bishop d3. Too much pressure on this, and you can't even take because there's mate on f2. Yeah, no, queen c3 is it's too simple. There's not really any swindle possibilities. What else could black even do here? That I mean, that's really the. I'm sure black can play a lot of moves here, but queen c3 is very obvious, unfortunately. I'm actually pretty surprised that she didn't go king f3. I mean, I know it's all pretty hopeless, but I wonder if there's something even worse than what I was looking at. See, like, black plays h5 as one of the top computer moves, or rook ac8. I don't think it's so easy. Maybe something else spooked her about this line, but, you know, if I'm black, I'm thinking, wow, this king is escaping all my checks. There's no mate, and I'm down a piece. I know I have all these pawns, but that's not really what they might have felt. They might feel like they messed it up somewhere. Really, they played it fine. It's just that somehow there was no mate on this king. Okay, well, knight d4. We're expecting queen c3. Yes, queen c3 just played. Yeah, and the problem is that the attack is going to continue. We lose the knight. We're not mated immediately, but there's black just has too much momentum. Yeah, you're right, Sebastian. In that line earlier with the king trying to run, there was this h5 move, but um, you know, that's like for black to play this little quiet move as part of their attack. It's yeah, it's findable. It's maybe even likely, but you force black to figure these things out, and maybe even then you play king g3, and if there's a check, you block it. So I still don't see where's the kill for black. You know, where's the knockout. But this position, unfortunately, I think is just going to be too easy for black at this point. King f2 is the only move. Gotta give credit to her opponent for playing a very good game. I think he came up with a lot of really interesting ideas. The double bishop sacrifice, keeping the pressure on her, going after the king like this, and the way he defended was good. You know, she never really got her attack going well enough to really grab the initiative. And yeah, he played very solidly. And this part he's played very well as well, through and through. Even he was taking his time to play queen takes d4, so he knows he's better, but he's still taking his time. I think a lot of people rush in these sort of circumstances, but he's just making sure that he's playing it accurately and not giving Kamryn any chances here. All right, well, since there's no mate, I think Kamryn will play it out a little bit. Maybe we'll still get an even better swindle if somehow she manages to get pawn takes, and you never know. Oh, there's actually king f1. There's also king g3 here. That's an interesting try. King g3. That maybe is a little bit better than king f1. Because king g3, there's a check, we block it. Okay, we got a tempo on the queen. No more checks. Checks are... sorry, no, there's no check. I thought we finally escaped those checks. They're still coming. Okay, if the king lands on h3, though, the big problem is that we just simply... like, we have no attack. Oh, there's bishop f5 here. What? Can't catch a break. It's all bad. Still alive? Still alive? Queen takes f4. It's good. Yeah, problem is in a situation like this, even if black doesn't have this mate or any mate, we've lost all of our counterattacking chances with the king on h3. We can never get our h file open. So yeah, I think she went king f1. Maybe that's the better practical try. Yeah. Okay. Okay, how could black screw this up? Okay, here we go. Take. I don't think this is gonna happen. Okay. How could they really? What's a good-looking move that doesn't really do anything? Okay, how about queen e3? Just trying to get the queen a little bit closer, put some pressure on the bishop. Now we take, right? Okay. Take. We have a mate threat. The thing is, even here, just queen d4 just defends it. So it's very, very hard to swindle black here, especially when he's taking his time. What do we need black to do? We need a favor. Bring the rook. Here we get a draw, I guess, if king takes. We actually don't even have mate in this position, but we have a draw. Oh, actually, maybe we can play for a win if we get the rook. Okay, well, this is all very nice, but not going to happen. Ah, h5, wow, okay. I was not expecting h5, I have to be honest. h5, I mean, it's black's position is so good, you can afford to take the tempo just to make sure there's no issue, but I mean, bishop to d3 was the killer move, among others. By the way, we can't just take, right? Because there's queen f2. Checkmate. So our bishop is very stuck. All right, so we try g4. We have to go for it, right? We have to. Don't take. He's not going to do it. And yeah, the no counterplay plan is smart here. Bishop d3. It's a bummer. We don't even have time to take this because this comes with check. And when we take, then there's queen here. This is actually pretty nice finish if this were to happen. If we move up, they just take the rook, and if we block, there's queen f3, followed by mate. That would be a nice finish. So yeah, so we don't have time to take on h5. We can take on h5 with the pawn, but actually, even in this position, queen d1 is killer. Because once again, there's this move. Oh, actually, yeah, I mean, so we can just take the queen. But here's a nice one. Ready? Rook takes queen. Take. And black just takes everything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, not much to go for, but she tried g4. Maybe black won't play bishop d3. They missed it the last move. Problem is, even if we say like rook c8, right, and we get to take this, well, the bishop can just go here. Not even, it doesn't even need to threaten anything, and we still don't have an open file. That's very unfortunate. Nor can we make an open file, because if we play h6, they just go here, and if we push, king hides. So we don't really have any counterplay. Yeah, this h5 move was not a bad idea. This is probably, if I was playing this game maybe around here, I would resign, because it feels like, my general philosophy is you can play to the end if you want, but if you get to a point where like you have no more counterplay, the counterplay is non-existent, then that's sort of the moment where it's time to throw in the towel. Like you're in a bad position, and there are no more tricks, no more counterplay. You can call it a day there. Okay, but yeah, there's still a little bit to try maybe. Bishop e4. Maybe not the most precise, but it'll work. There's one scenario, one way this could go. Say rook g1, bishop here. Maybe, just maybe, we get to some endgame. Let's say we trade, and I'm letting white take this. Black's only ahead by one pawn. I don't think black will let this happen, but this would be a major accomplishment for white to get to here. I mean, it's possible to hold something like this, so maybe this is something she could hope to get to. It's possible. Very difficult. It would take a mistake or two from black for sure. So we'll see. Bishop e4. And she's thinking, yeah, I mean, the only hope now, really, because I don't think we're going to get an attack on the king, only hope at this point is to somehow get to an endgame that we can try to hold. That would be an accomplishment for white right now. If we just get to an endgame that's, maybe black only has one extra pawn, or even two extra pawns, but maybe the extra pawn is a weak one somewhere that we can try to go after. I don't know. It's the best hope at the moment. She's thinking. Queen g1? Queen g1. Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, queen trade might be in our favor, right? So, okay, let's just say queen trades. Rook takes. Takes. Why not? Rook takes. Yeah. Nice idea, Sebastian. Okay, big problem though. We're down 3 pawns. I think it's just too much. It's too much. Yeah, there's always this problem with the a2 pawn being way out there on its own, and without that pawn, there's really no stopping these two guys from coming down on us. We don't have an easy target to get some counterplay with either. So it's big problems. Okay, we have bishop e4 and Kamryn moved. Rook d1. She's fighting. I like it. Rook d1. Okay, any queen move that puts it on a safe square should do for black. Yeah, but this is what you should do when you're behind and you need to make a comeback. You try to make things complicated, try to confuse your opponent a little bit. I don't know if Rook d1 is going to confuse black, but it forces him to make a decision, right? Where to put this queen. He knows he's better. Now he's getting attacked. He's like, well, why am I the one getting attacked? He should be winning, right? But, you know, especially with the queen, you got to choose the right squares. There's plenty of options. I mean, queen b2, queen c3, queen e3, any of these squares are good. We can even go all the way back if we really want to, like queen b6, but there's plenty of moves that should do. Rook d2 might be possible. So, yeah, plenty of options for black, but still, I don't know if there's a really bad square to go to. One where white could turn the tables, but you know, if the queen gets offsides, you never know. Right, you never know. That's sort of what happened with Kamryn. Her queen got a little bit stuck on h2, and it wasn't really able to help defend against all these checks that she was facing in the center of the board. The king was all alone. Oh, oh. This might actually be good news for Kamryn. He just took on d1. I didn't see this. But can't we take this? Rook takes queen. Rook takes rook. At the end. Okay, this is what he's going for. This is forced, I think. Okay, well, this gives this gives a little bit of hope. This is an endgame where our king in the center is not bad, and we're going to be down 2 pawns, guys. But all things considered, this is like some slight miracle to get to here. They're playing down this line. Wow, queen d1, bishop takes d1, rook takes h2 has been played. She's going to take, yeah. Okay. The game goes on. Two pawns, yes, it's still a lot, but there are no pass pawns for black. Okay, there are no pass pawns for black. It's definitely winning for them, but it would take just one big mistake or maybe 2 tiny mistakes for white to be back in it. You know, so I'm telling you, there's a chance. I mean, at this rate, Kamryn, at the rate that she's coming back in this position, Kamryn's going to win this game in like the next 10 moves. Okay, endgame time. Still, kudos to black. I mean, to be willing to just simplify and go for this endgame, he must feel pretty confident that he's going to win it. And yeah, he should be. He should feel pretty confident he can win this. Yeah, he just wanted a simpler position to play, one without any risk, although, to be honest, there wasn't really much risk. Couldn't find really anything for Kamryn to do, but now... Okay, now we have to... First of all, we have to save our bishop. King e1. We're going to get king e1, I predict. And then after pawn takes... Oh, king e1 is played, yeah. And then bishop takes. Where black has one extra pawn on both sides, right? Pawn majority on the king side and the queen side. But... white stands a fighting chance. I'd say white stands a fighting chance. This is where we're at. Okay. I think this was the wrong way for black to go. It just feels like it's a lot more work than he needed to do. Just a lot more work. King f8. Okay. Yeah, what does Kamryn do here? There's not really any weaknesses for us to target, so like we need to get black on the defensive here, but it's not so easy to actually pull that off. But this bishop found its way back to e4 again. It's very powerful. It guards here, it guards here, and it's just controlling so many squares, and our bishop still can't really do very much. So yeah, it's also black has better piece activity at the moment. If it was opposite color bishops, I'd say let's trade rooks, but same color bishops, not gonna work. Oh, Nezzy, welcome. You played Kamryn in the first round. Oh, interesting. Sneaky in the late game, yeah. Well, if she comes back and draws this, black will be kicking himself for having gone into this endgame. It was a little bit unnecessary. It was very unnecessary, and still very much winning. But now you have like a lot more work to do. You got to make sure you don't make any mistakes. What's Kamryn going to do? Rook e2, yeah. Where are you putting your bishop? Guys, this is what you have to do. You attack the pieces, you make them go places, and you hope that they choose the wrong square, right? Because that's what happened when Kamryn went rook d1, this move, attacking the queen. And I thought, oh, the queen's just going to move away. I just assumed the queen was going to move away. And then I didn't even consider queen takes d1 as a possibility. And so sure enough, yeah, so it was -6 in this position. After queen takes d1, it's still -4, but, you know, she's fighting her way back. Okay, this is where we're at. Baby steps, right? We managed to get to this endgame. Now we kick the bishop away from the center. What do we do? g6. Let's do g6, right? Why not? Make it complicated. g6. We're losing anyway. We gotta mix things up. g6. What does black do? If you push, you lose here. If you go here, it's a backwards pawn. It's a weakness. Now we've created a weakness. Maybe f5 is pretty good, actually. But if they take, we take, and that's one less pawn that we really have to worry about because now there's doubled pawns. Okay, rook d4 was played. What did Kamryn do? Oh, she went king f2, rook d4. Yeah, well now she has to defend this pawn with the king. That's fine. King g3. We don't want rook trades. Okay, we have to avoid the rook trades because... Oh, yeah, okay, let's say here. Any rook trade, the endgame is losing for white pretty simply, too, because bishops of the same colors will be decisive. Bishops of opposite colors, if this bishop was on e3, we maybe hold it. But yeah, so Kamryn has this handicap right now that she can't afford a rook trade. That's going to make things difficult. She's played king g3. Okay. Black's moving kind of quickly. And that's good. We just want him moving quickly. Rook d3, so what? We just go back king f2. I believe that's what he played. And actually, I'm pretty glad that we don't have the pressure on these pieces anymore. So I'm happy if I'm white to just go king f2. Maybe black wants to go rook here and then bishop d5 and win the a2 pawn. Yeah, that's a prospect I'm not looking forward to. Because it would also potentially trade rooks. So hard. So hard. Nope. King move. Welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, this is the last little bit of the final round of the South Dakota Governor's Cup. And so far, Kamryn's had a really good tournament. She's 3.5 out of 4, tied for first place. $1,000 on the line in this game, but unfortunately, it is not going her way at the moment in the final round. But we're hoping for a miracle. I've seen crazier comebacks than this. Oh, man, f5, come on. We have to be aggressive, right? We can't just sit back and defend. We have to be aggressive, cause problems for our opponent. f5. Let's go. Then we're threatening to win a pawn. She's played it. I don't know what this king e7 move. Rook a3 was very strong. It would have been rook a3. And bishop d5 is unstoppable. It takes. Yeah, 1,000 for, this is the under 1,800 section, I believe. And, well, yes, for some bigger tournaments, you'll get prize funds like that. But to be honest, it's $1,000 covers your expenses, you know, and that's if you win first place. So it's not that much, really, at the end of the day. Maybe you make $100 or two, but you got hotel, you got travel, 3 days that you're playing for. No, it's not worth sandbagging. Stop it. It just covers your expenses. Seriously. Okay, bishop d5 we should take. Or maybe g6, actually. She took. Maybe a little too fast. Let's see. F takes e6. Okay, fine. Yeah. The big question is going to be, if bishop takes, do we take it or do we move away? Bishop has taken. Do we go for the rook and pawn ending? I don't think so. I think we got to keep the bishop on the board and just hope that it's enough. Maybe bishop f3 and try to make a little threat here. I don't know, yeah. Okay, f takes e6, bishop takes e6 is played. Now, yeah, I know we definitely didn't want a rook trade, right? We said that earlier. I think we keep the bishops on the board. Yeah. Well, okay, there's a little bit of a dilemma, because if we go back, then rook a3 will pick up this pawn. Well, okay, actually they should save b7 first, right? They should play this. But it's actually very hard to save this pawn. on any of the subsequent moves. Oh, she's trying g6. Yeah, okay, g6 now. Now we have a threat. now there's real danger for black. Yeah, this is the right move. Very good, Kamryn. Very good. Yep. Well, you can't move this pawn. Don't even think about it, because then you lose the bishop. But if you do nothing, I always like it when my opponents do nothing. Like, say b6. We just take. Now the bishop's hanging. We're also threatening to promote. We're going to win the bishop in this position. So Kamryn would be back in the game. Okay, we need black to do something really bad here. But what do you do? Let's see. There's, man, this is a little nerve-wracking for black. If I was black here, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on here? Why am I getting attacked? Why am I the one defending? I have to play some move like maybe rook d6 right now. That's not really what you want to do. You left after queen b2, big fun? Oh my goodness. Well, you missed a lot. She survived for a little bit, although black was making progress, and then black traded into this endgame. Yeah. All right, rook d6. Smart move. But that deactivates the rook a little bit, so it's still helping us out. Yeah. Too bad that he didn't blunder a piece. Okay, she takes, yeah. Makes sense. Not much else to do. Okay, there's one other idea for later on in the game. Is that, well, this square A1 is the wrong color for this bishop. There's one very good idea to try to draw this game, which is that if we can get rid of all these pawns, and this pawn, and the rook, in exchange for our rook, all of our pieces, right? The rook, bishop, all our pawns gone off the board, we will have a draw, because white's king can just run to A1, and there's no way to promote this one remaining pawn. That is the most likely scenario for white to achieve a draw. Problem is, okay, we have some more moves. The big problem is that we need to get rid of this pawn, and we need to get rid of this pawn for that to even be a possibility. And that's easier said than done. Easier said than done, but there is hope now. See, this is why black shouldn't have gone into this endgame, you guys, because it's you actually have to play it pretty technically correct. So far, he's doing okay. So far, he's doing okay, but there's a fighting chance here for white to sneak out a draw. I'm going to see. There's not a lot of games left in the room. I'm going to see if maybe the online pairings have been updated to show the results in the other game. I don't think they have been. That's... So we don't really know what the situation is. Like, for example, is a draw enough? Would a draw be enough to secure first place? Wait, what? Rook a6. Ah, interesting. Rook a6 is what we want. My god. Rook a6. Okay, we're getting very close to that scenario I was talking about, where the a1 square is, we just have a blockade. So if Kamryn takes on b7, it's now our best chance. Takes on b7. Rook takes a2. We don't really have much choice but to trade. We can do it either way. We could take them maybe like this. And we bring our bishop back somewhere. And our only goal is to sacrifice it for this pawn. And then race our king to the corner for a draw. This is how we save this game. Okay? That would be pretty miraculous save compared to where we were before. And so, in order to avoid this at this point, Black would have to make sure they don't lose this pawn. They'd have to advance it with the help of the bishop blockading, like move the king up, blockade, so they stop the bishop from sacrificing for it whenever it advances. But that's a lot of work. It's doable. It's very doable. But also he has to realize it, right? He has to realize that nuance. Does Kamryn have any other possibility here? Don't think so. I think it's the best shot, but it's honestly it's not hard for Black to make progress with the bishop and pawn and avoid this pawn getting traded. So, and this pawn is unsavable. So you can't just move away with your king or rook to avoid the rook trade, because then you're just down too much. It would be 3 pawns, and that's way too much. But she's thinking, yeah. There's still a chance, people. we're gonna be with her to the end. There's still a chance. Oh my goodness. King g3 is played. Okay. So she's keeping the rook on the board for now, but Black's going to have a 3-pawn advantage. And the big problem is that these pawns can march together. Okay, actually we could still get rook takes a2, rook takes a2, bishop takes, and then bishop takes b7. Yes, this is possible. Problem is, this pawn will start to race, and the king will have to move away, and once the king gets distracted, this pawn starts to go. Wait. Ah, he played b6. Oh, he's ruining this. Rook takes e6? Oh, did I miss a tactic? Wait a minute. Rook a6, king here. Wait, what? Oh, bishop takes b7, he said. Bishop takes b7. Rook takes a2. Rook takes e6. Oh, no. Because we're pinned. Yeah. Well, also, we can't even take it. Yeah, the tactics all work out for Black. Okay. King g3 was played. b6. Very clever move. This pawn is a goner no matter what, so he's just taking a moment just to make sure he doesn't lose that b pawn. Yeah, that was a good move. Okay, what tricks do we have? Rook c1. Wait, I would love to be able to do some sort of tactic where we take, and then have a bishop c4 check and win the rook on a2 at some point, but I don't know how we orchestrate that. There's not a way. I'm trying to find some tricks in the position that just don't exist. I guess we can go rook c2 and try to go active, right? Try to go after the king this way a little bit. I think that's what she did. Rook c2. We're going to need a pretty big mistake from Black sometime soon, because the big problem is that these pawns are going to march together now. And that's going to be pretty unstoppable. Black doesn't have to do anything with these pieces. They can chill. Maybe put the king here so there are no checks. And just focus on these 2 pawns. That's the plan for Black. The plan for White is to resist as much as possible and hope that Black gets careless. Okay, rook c7. This is the position currently. Rook c7 is played. Rook c6. Okay. I'm trying for something like this. Worth a shot. Oh, actually, maybe more precise is bishop g4. Because bishop g4 guards e2, so there's no rook coming over to help defend the bishop. So if black only sees this, maybe there's some hope. No, he moved his king. Yeah, don't sit in a pin. You don't sit in that pin. You just get out of it immediately. Man, there's almost a rook takes and then some sort of bishop fork. Or some sort of bishop skewer. Just everything is lined up on the light squares. It's so close. Oh, I just can't quite manufacture this. I don't see a way. Maybe bishop d1 is what she should try. Bishop d1 threatens to take and then do the fork. Oh, she did it. Bishop d1. Kamryn has good fighting spirit, that's for sure. She's not going to let this guy win easily. This game could have been over a long time ago if she stopped trying, but she's fought back to here. I'd say it's pretty impressive. Like, to get this far from where black was very nearly checkmating her king in the center of the board is an accomplishment on its own. Okay, move a pawn. No, I moved the bishop. Oh, we needed a pawn move there. Or a king move. It's still hard to draw against the 3 pawns, that's true, but it was probably the best shot we had. Okay, rook. Oh, we can't go rook here because of this check. Ah, she's so annoying. I was thinking, okay, maybe there's a little bit of hope if we win this pawn, but we lose our rook. It's a nice geometry there. Okay, rook c7 is played instead. Makes sense. We can still try to go here and take the bishop and fork, you know, once black moves this pawn. So we need black to make 2 pawn moves in a row, and then we'll have a shot at a draw. Something like this, here, this. And if we get to this, the sad reality, though, is that black is very much still winning. Yeah, I think having this g-pawn way over here is a big problem for white. You have to win this pawn. But in the meantime, these 2 pawns are going to come down and beat the bishop with the king helping. So even this endgame, if she gets this trick, it's not enough. So we need to do this, but we need to win this pawn first. Oh, okay. We can. Oh, we still can't win the pawn because it's rook g2. Oh my goodness. Okay. The king is very unfortunately placed on g3. It's cut off completely because we got the rook here. The king makes a wall here. It's all guarded. We can't get our king over to a safe square. Okay, rook d7. It's the only reasonable try. Oh, she tried check. Okay, that's also a reasonable try. I take it back. King f6. Okay. Rook d7. Let's be annoying. Let's go. Rook d7. Yeah, rook d7. Okay. We're fighting to the bitter end, everybody. You never know. Mistake can happen even when you think it's totally hopeless. There could be a blunder. For example, maybe bishop e6 is a mistake because after this we win this pawn, I think. Unless I'm missing something. You save the pawn. You lose your bishop. We actually saw this tactic as a potential earlier. And even after something like rook check, we just can move away. And even after this, we just take with check. And after the king moves, we maybe even start to think about winning in this case, right? Because if we win all the pawns, after our long battle, we win all the pawns. We try to win rook and bishop versus king and rook. Pretty unlikely, but this is what you do. You just keep making little threats, peppering your opponent, irritating them. They get low on time. They make a blunder somewhere. Where does that bishop go? C6? C6? Ah, no. Wait, where did he go? Looked like he went bishop to e6. I'm pretty sure bishop e6 we have rook d6. Am I missing something? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Am I missing some? Rook d6 is played. Wait, what is the deal here? Black just has to give up the pawn. They have to give up the pawn. Oh my god. That's going to make their life way more difficult than it needs to be. That pawn on b6 is a goner, so you no longer have the connected pawns. Yeah, okay, you're not going to lose your bishop, right? You could also play king e5. Right? That's enough. You can play check, and you can go here and protect the bishop, but then we just take. So I don't think it's trivial win anymore for black, actually. I don't think it's trivial. It's going to be more work. Rook a3, king f4. King f4. Oh, no. What happened? What? She resigned. g5? Wait, why did she resign? There was still some fight? No? Okay, everybody. Well, that's game. It's very much winning for black anyway. I did feel like, well, maybe we were starting to make a little progress, but I think Kamryn had enough. And the game is now officially a win for her opponent. So we'll get Kamryn on in a second, hear her thoughts about the game. So don't go anywhere quite yet. It was a very good tournament. Yeah. No, resigning is fair. Yeah, there's really not much hope. I think she was about to win this pawn, but it's still 2 extra pawns, and this one's now starting to make progress down the board, so it's very hard to do anything.
Hello.
Hi, Kamryn.
Oh,
Let me fix you so you're not. Somehow you got twisted around. Hold on.
yeah, there was some issue near the start with the stream, like they could hear you guys or something, so they must have messed with I don't know what they did. They wouldn't let me look at it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. There we go. We can see you now.
Great.
That was quite a game. You fought on for a long time. I'm sorry you didn't manage to fight all the way back, but it was definitely very
Yeah.
entertaining, at least.
Well, that's good. I kept thinking like, oh, I should probably just resign, but then I was like, well, I mean, there's a chance if I like win a pawn or something, or if I can like get a
Hmm.
skew or a with like a bishop fork, like if I take his
Yep,
bishop with my rook and but then I was like, I don't even know if I can win that end game, like the 3 pawns against the bishop.
that was probably
So
also losing. Yeah,
yeah, so but I don't know.
it was a good
I just
effort.
like to fight.
Yeah.
When did I start losing? Because
Uh huh.
I thought I had figured it out, and then suddenly I was getting checked, and it was a problem.
I think you were worse for most of the game.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how far you
Right.
want to go back, but let's see. Yeah, here you're already much worse. Um,
Oh, here already. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say
yes.
when he sacked his bishop, was it better to take the bishop?
No. I don't think anything was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So if it makes you feel any better, you already didn't have many options. The one thing was here in this position. I think your last chance to sort of save things was to play g5 first.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I think I spent a lot of time here because I was considering that.
And the point is that the queen no longer now when the queen moves somewhere wherever it goes, and you take this is no longer an option because they can't recapture with the queen anymore. So there is that subtle
Okay.
little detail. Yeah, yeah.
But then he still gets in with like Queen C2, right?
Well, here the yeah queen c2 is
Oh, but the
possible,
bishop's
but
under attack.
it's just equal. Yeah, it's just equal. If
Oh,
bishop
okay.
b4, then you take on h6 and you try to go for it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's some
I
draw actually. Oh yeah, the computer is saying now there's this and the okay king takes is actually still just a draw because you have a check and then you have another check and you go back and forth. So yeah,
huh.
that was how you could have saved a draw, but you had to notice g5 first. I was thinking about it. I don't think I noticed the subtle reason for it at the time. So, you know,
Yeah, see, I saw that and then I thought if he went uh Queen F6
queen f5.
um
Yeah.
or yeah, sorry, Queen F5 was like I think I was gonna take on H6 then.
Well, yeah, that's an
Um
interesting line, but maybe.
but the problem was he always was able to just drop the bishop back to H7 and there's no
Oh,
mate.
interesting. Yeah.
Um
Well, actually,
Although I was
here.
looking at lines where I could like distract his queen away from that diagonal, and I don't know.
Here, apparently, the computer says queen c2 or knight c2 are both winning, and anything else is equal or better for you. That's not
Okay,
obvious.
yeah,
I don't know.
queen
Yeah.
C2.
Queen
Yeah,
c2.
that was the problem because then, like, if I take on G7, he takes the knight with check, and I can't block with the bishop because the knight is also attacking that square where I'd want to put the bishop. And
Oh,
if I
and you
move,
can't go to g1 because there's knight f3. Oh no! Oh, there's queen takes e3 is mate. Oh my god.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
jeez.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
geez. Yeah, hard. Yeah, I guess also even Sebastian in the chat pointed out that actually it was really like you sort of got into. No, I mean actually you were already a little bit worse, but Queen H2 made it worse.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Okay. I played that really fast because I kept thinking he was gonna sack his bishop on F4. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring the queen back to like deal with that.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because you want to try to keep some attacking possibilities alive. But the best thing to do is just to get the queens off the board at this point.
Ah,
Yeah, it's not like if you were in the mindset of trying to attack and win. I think you eliminate that from your list of candidate moves.
yeah, that
So
was the problem is I was trying to win.
yeah, I mean it's a good thing, but also it hurt you in this moment. Yeah, there
So was
was.
my knight H5 move or knight H4
Oh yeah,
move bad?
I don't think so. I think that was the top computer choice if I remember correctly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there were a lot of moves
Because
in this
knight H4
position,
and
but
then
yeah.
he gosh, it was just such a mess. Like the pawns got so weak over there and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was? Let me see. What was the deal here? Yeah, you were here. You were a little bit better. And what did you play? F3. F3 actually, I thought it was the most natural move to do, and it was also not the best move. So if you just go like Queen B3,
oh,
if you take on C5, apparently we're both good. I think you take on C5, and after Bishop takes, you still just go somewhere with your Queen, Queen G4, Queen A4. I don't really know. It's kind of weird.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at like queen B3 and
Uh huh.
I don't know.
Queen b3 was good here too. But f3, the tactics just work out for black. That's the issue. It's just the tactics work out because this
Yeah,
game is very
I
annoying.
missed it. I missed his bishop D6 and yeah. And then I was like, well, like king's coming out to play. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a fun one.
I mean, I've had positions like this and they've been fine. Queen f6 was a very good move. That was,
Yeah, and then I have to push F4, right?
yeah, yeah. It's not the
Like
only move, but yeah, it's the best move. But even this, we were like, this isn't so bad because we can get the knight back in and we can reroute it. And yes, this bishop gets to live, which is kind of annoying, but then he canceled kingside and we are like, oh, okay, well, maybe we can try to attack him.
I was so excited when he castled kingside. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna win the game because I have my open
Yeah.
file.
Yeah,
And but then it got complicated.
yeah, queen h5 was maybe a little bit premature. It won at knight f3 right away. Just like get
Oh,
the
knight
knight out of the way
F3.
first and then maybe bring it back to g5 or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, or
Yeah, I
then
was looking
start
at that
pushing.
maneuver later, but
Yeah, the problem is the knight's always like in the way, right? It's in the way of your h5.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Omar did have to take off early, so in
Oh
case you
yeah, I
didn't notice.
remember he said that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so queen h5,
Okay.
h6, and then let's see. Mm, yeah, this was good. This was a good move. But it was always like a little edge for black. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just had to trade queens there. Okay, well,
Yep, that was
you
really
know,
it.
I tried my best.
You did. Yeah, and
Sometimes
honestly,
it doesn't work out.
well, you fought back way further than I think anybody would have expected in this game. To get to that end game was a major accomplishment, I think.
Well, I couldn't believe when he just like traded down. I was like, I know it's a winning endgame, but like it felt like he just had mate if he kept the queens on the board.
Yeah, there actually wasn't a mate, no force mate, but it felt like it was inevitable, right? And then
Yeah, or at least like winning a piece or something. Like I thought if he just like kind of got the battery on the seventh rank or something, there
yeah,
was like I couldn't move basically.
and you didn't have any counterplay, but he played it very cautiously, and almost let you back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Well, still a nice
it is
tournament
what it
for you.
is.
Yeah, I think, but 3.5 out of 5 is a good score. I think.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Now I gotta drive home, so I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody and thank you, Ian, for commentating.
Of
Thanks to
course.
Omar, wherever he is. We always love having you guys on the stream. It just adds so much. So thanks for sticking it out through the
Yeah,
whatever
sure.
4 hour game or whatever it
That
was.
was that was that was highly entertaining for me as well. So, thanks for
Well,
having
good.
us.
I'm glad.
We're always happy to be on, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. If you stuck around through it all, I appreciate you. You're a real one. I will see you guys soon.
All right, bye everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.